Okay, here we are again. So we will wait out the 3.5 minutes we usually do, and then we'll get started. I think that's good. Have to make minor adjustments with the microphone each time because it is not on its own stand. The stand is separate. So I have to make sure it's at the correct angle so that it catches most of my voice even though it's next to me, so I'm not speaking into it directly. It's logistics. It's not a big deal. It's just, logistical stuff. I feel like when I stream this stuff, I don't have as good of posture as I usually do because I kind of have to lean forward just a little bit to make sure that the microphone can pick up everything. I mean, I could aim it a little more like this, I guess, and then sit back a little, but it still feels like the volume levels are lower than usual when I do that, so I don't know. I could go all in and just be like this and this, but then I can't really look at chat if I do that. I mean, it'll be closer, so I can do something like this where I'm talking directly into it, but again, I can't really look at chat with it like that. Maybe we can do like a half-Z's thing like this. No, that's still a little too far away, I think. Maybe like that. We'll try that. See how that works. Maybe it'll pick up more because it's more straight on. There we go. Oh, 4:31. Okay, let me take a drink and then we'll get started. Okay, get me away from my book burning and into my, my ill omen, because the omens themselves were piling up just a little bit last time, but, I mean, I'm not sure how much of a focus we can really keep on that for now, because we have a liberation rite to get to in this rainstorm that will probably turn to snow soon enough, and then it'll match outside, because we got a bunch of snow since the last episode. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Pyre, the Stream Edition. Last time, we finished out the second Liberation Rite, and now we are on the road to the third Liberation Rite, so that we can get out of this rain, ideally, and move on to the next one. But there were a few little seeds of doubt planted last time, including a visit from Volfred's old friend Oralek. I didn't mention it last time, but he was the doctor that was traveling with them. It was mentioned earlier in the game as a part of a blurb from one of the items that we got, I think, that he was the chief physician of the Commonwealth at one point before he was thrown down here. So, yeah, he was the doctor that Tariq knows. So that's not the best bedside manner I've ever seen, but he's been through a lot, so that's probably part of why. Alright, next place to go. Cistern is Sir Gilman. High Road is Bertrude. We're taking Bertrude with us, so it's probably for the best we go here. And then we've gone down both the highest roads and the lowest roads on the way to Mount Elodiel, so there's probably another combination that I haven't done yet, but at the very least we'll have done both of the normal ones, you know. So. Ah, well, fair enough. I'm sure they would rather that we understand them than fear them, so. Cool. Let's see what favor he showed. Probably, I was going to say quickness, but I guess it gave her extra presence, so that's not terrible. It might actually help out a little bit. But no vocational work to be done here. We're practically at the summit, so that means that we're up at the Scribe's Gate. So let's go see what's here. We already know because Celeste is here, so. Yeah, I'm not sure she should be surprised considering, you know, we always get here with relatively timely manner, so. I was gonna say that's a fair question. I'm not sure if Tariq is lying there, but I suppose we don't want to get in trouble before we get in here. So, oh, she's new. Yeah, fair enough. Don't give her no lip like you did with Sandra there, Bertrude. I know the kind of person you are, but she will expel you. Yeah, fair enough. That will all work. Thank you, Celeste. Well, that wasn't as cold as she usually is towards him, so that's maybe signs of improvement. Well, no matter what, improvement or not, we're here at the summit. So we're ready for the next liberation rite. Just about. Nothing to do in the Black Wagon, it looks like. I'm just going to double check, make sure I've got all my stuff equipped. And ponder the orb, or ponder the stone. And, let's see here. Luminous Idol, Haub's Wing, Prayer Beads, Triestas. You don't need the Moon Crest so much. I've been thinking about this. I might actually use the Scribe Snuff on both, I might use it on Tizo and Ruki, actually. I was thinking about it in between streams, because it might come in handy. I'm not 100% sure about that just yet, because Guiding Light is pretty damn good for Ruki, but, I don't know. There's a possibility that Lightning Run might be better for him. Although, again, I'm not really sure whether I particularly use a whole lot of his second or third jumps, so I might stick with this and just keep it. And then, I don't know, I might take Keen Eye. Like I said, I don't really use Cloud Jump all that much, but we still have a couple of rights left before he can even get to be even thinking about that, so, yeah. And we know Bertrude's going, so let's take a look at our enlightenment levels here. Okay. So I think we will keep most things where they are, with the exception of the prayer beads. I think I'm going to put those on Bertrude, because those will come in fairly handy. This I'm going to sell, so we'll leave that. I'm actually going to hold on to this. So let me do this, this, put this over here, put this up here, and then put this over here. So we'll sell the tail, Millet's tail. We still have 7 more to put on Triestas, although that's not a humongous priority for me. I'm probably, if I get any more Stardust, I'm going to try to get enough to get the Vengeful Vow to rank 20, just to see about that with Tizo. Because I'm considering, I mean, I don't really use him as a scorer, honestly, so like I'm considering keeping Elusive Nature and then maybe doing the sign things, and then although, here's the thing, too, is that if I use the Vengeful Vow, it does the same sort of thing as Last Laugh does. So it might be better to hold on to a few of these things, like maybe get Titan's Rage, safe return. I mean, I could keep Inner Glory in that case, because then it's like just get the whole left side, you know, and get safe return for him on his 5th rank. But he's a ways away from the 5th rank, so we're not really too concerned about that at the moment. I think he's actually the lowest out of everybody. Yeah, he is. It's because of the fact that he's more... I play with him more defensively, honestly. I usually use him as a sub-out for Jodariel in those cases, so he hasn't really had a chance to shine yet as a result of that, because Jodariel is just so omnipresent in the early game. But and because you have, like, Ruki and Sir Gilman and Pamitha, he doesn't really stick out as an attacker or a scorer either. And then you get Bertrude, and it's like, okay, well... Tizo's a little bit on the back foot here, on the back seat, but that's okay. We'll make him work in a little bit. All right, I think everybody's got what they need. Sandra, nothing on your mind at the moment, correct? Yeah, didn't think so. She probably has like 2 more things total to say across the whole game. One near the end of the game, and then 1 more before that. So. I mean, it's still raining pretty hard, so... But I suppose it is busier up here now than it used to be, since, you know, there's actual exiles that come up here now, so... Let's see. Okay, he's got +3 on the Stardust. He's also got the Bottled Void. After getting banished, the bearer returns in a burst that draws in nearby adversaries. I don't really see the point of this one, honestly. I mean, I guess maybe if the burst, like, explodes the enemies when they come back, and like the enemies are hyper offensively moving towards your Pyre, but unless you were gonna like come back close to where you died, I don't really see much of a point. It's there, but I'm not really keen on it, to be honest with you. All right, well, we know we're getting the Stardust, and we know we're getting rid of the tail, so let's do that. And then take this. Thank you. Now, the only other thing that I can think in terms of like how I can have Tizo work is that I could use the Scribe Snuff on him, get rid of the Vengeful Vow, and get him the signs, like the Moon Sign and the Star Sign. Get him Last Laugh, keep the Zip thing, and then instead of giving him Vengeful Vow, because he'll have Last Laugh, so he already, well, has that effect, I could give him the Thorned Knot, which would increase the maximum range of his Aura cast, and I would imagine that stacks with Last Laugh. It wouldn't be bad to test, I don't think. Maybe I'll buy the Thorn Knot just in case I'm gonna do... You know what? No, you know what? I am gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that right now, actually, because I have the Snuff already. I've got the Vengeful Vow right there, so I'm just gonna do that right now, and we'll start raising the Thorn Knot and see if it works. We'll keep Haloub's Wing for a while, just in case it happens to come in handy, but I don't know. It might and it might not. There you go, Ron. You can have that. I will hold on to this. We'll give it some Stardust in a minute. Matter of fact, we'll do it right now. But that way, let's see. So Triesta's actually might upgrade to +4 from this. Yeah, but I'm not using her in the next straight, so I don't know if it's strictly necessary. Am I going to be using the Thorn Knot in the next straight either, though? No, but it is lower than the Triesta's, to be fair. So then we'd need 12 plus 7 is 19 in order to max it out. I suppose we don't have to max out. I mean, this one, if we get it to +4, that's enough for a while, really. But if we max this one out, it wouldn't be too bad either. So 8, at rank 8, it's 12%. So I'm thinking it might be at like 15% at rank 10. And then like 30 at rank 20. Well, I haven't really used it much before, but again, I think it's a decent idea, so let's find out, right? Why not? As for Tizo, let's see. So, how about we snuff him up right now, have some Tizo, and now we can choose some new masteries for him. So I'm going to take Elusive Nature to start with, and then we will start working on this way, so that way he's got Last Laugh available to him already. And then he can work on getting the improved Star Sign when he gets to rank 5. And we'll see how it works. Again, I don't know if it's going to work necessarily all that well, but I'll try it. You know, you never know. It might work out for the best. So. And then maybe if we even give him like a presence potion, like if he gets another serum for presence, I can give that to him in the later rites when Tizo starts to prove a little more valuable. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. I think we... ended up with the same amount of money that we came in with, actually, once all was said and done. We have a new page to read, though, so now there's actually something to do in here. So let's go do that, shall we? So this one is about downside dining. I could have used this a while ago book when Hedwin left his responsibilities to me, but let's take a look. How to sustain oneself with food and drink in such a place as this? The less said of it, the better. Do not complain, observe, and above all, keep moving. Sources of sustenance avail themselves to those with keener sense. In warmer climates, search the ground at break of day for subterraneans. In colder places, dig for them. Give them purpose. Drinking pools are rare, but moisture in abundance outside of the sandfolds. Some is poisonous. Take only what you need. The downside limits any opportunity for excess, but it provides enough amenities to meet the needs of life. One who withstands it cannot help but feel a sense of gratitude. And you know what? Yeah, I gotta be fair about that. I mean, I came down here, my legs were broken, I didn't expect to be walking ever again without assistance, but hey, I mean, I'm not exactly in a mood or an ability to conduct virtual celestial rugby, but hey, it's not bad. I'm not doing too terribly, considering. Alright, so I believe the Fate are our opponents in this liberation, right? So let's commence. Let's not keep them waiting, because out of the whole bunch, they're probably the closest to the original Fate out of all of them. So let's take a look. What's up, Tariq? And Volfred. I get a feeling I know what this talk is about. Oh boy. Potentially unfortunate? More than likely it's going to be very unfortunate. Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. So you know how we went to Kilmer's Island out in the middle of the Deathless Tempest? That was a bad omen. You know how Oralex showed up? That was a bad omen. You know how Sandra said, yeah, I don't know, the rites seem like they might be coming to an end soon? That was a bad omen. Bad omens all around, because now the Titan stars are outshining the Scribe stars. And that means the rites are going to end sometime soon. We don't know when yet, but not a good sign. Yeah. Now remember, the reason why the rites can't commence is because there won't be any celestial orbs. What does this mean for our exiles? We're gonna have to find out yet. Well, I'll leave you to the arithmetic, because you seem to know a little more about that. I'll stick to cheering on my friends while they work out the whole mess with the Fate here. So, yeah, we've got bigger fish to fry at the moment, so. But we have a limited number of chances now to liberate our companions, including this one now. So, we'll have to make the most of them. We already have been, but we'll have to make the most of them again. There's a new Titan star in the sky as well. So this one is Zilvius Horseheaded. When your adversaries plunge into your pyre, they will never be banished. I forget if I turn that one on, to be honest. That one I turn off. That one's fine. This one I turn off. And this one I turn off. I'm trying to remember which ones I turn on after this. I know there's one that goes over here that I turn on, but I forget what the sixth one is. I don't think it's this one. It's in exchange for this, you get 3% more enlightenment. Zilvius Horseheaded. As you can see here. So, but I'm not really sure if I want to turn that on all that badly. Especially not for this particular rite. It's not really. Like, I need to look at what all of the Titan stars are before I turn on the ones that I want. I know these four are ones that I usually use, but other than that, and there's a fifth one that I know about, but I don't remember what the sixth one is. I think it's, like, here, actually. I don't think it's Zilvius. But if you don't want to turn them on at the moment, don't worry about it too much. There is an achievement based on winning a rite with all 12 Titan stars active, but I'll let you know when the opportune moment is to have those all turned on, because, well, they all won't appear until later. So we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but that means there's 4 more to go, so let's proceed to the rite with these ones, as usual. And this is a liberation rite, so in the unfortunate event of me losing, I will be retrying. Again, I'm trying to minimize the number of retries, and we haven't had to use one so far, but I still want to get a really solid ending, so again, it's one of the best endings, if you ask me.
Congratulations, Frida.
Thank you?
It would appear the rites are drawing to a close.
Oh, then no thank you.
Doubtless the doing of that Orlek in all his bitter spite.
I mean, he's probably part of the
For now,
problem.
your exiles have another chance at freedom here upon the fall of Solium.
Uh-huh.
So too do the fate, your adversaries. They fought so very bravely for this moment. Whichever side prevails soon shall send one of its own into the warm embrace of civilization.
I mean, they embraced you warmly, didn't they? But we'll get there. Alright, so here at least is a brief respite from all of the bullshit we've been dealing with over the course of this cycle, because the fate, as I said before, are fairly honorable. Dalbert apparently is the anointed one among them. Seems like an interesting choice. I'd think you'd pick your son, because he's, you know, younger than you. But I'm glad you're here, Dalbert. Almer. So I think what the game is trying to tell us in terms of like, oh, well, all of the other triumvirates are out of line because they aren't following the teachings and orders of the other, you know, of the scribes and stuff. I think Dalbert himself follows the doctrine of the fate pretty well, but his adopted son Almer is kind of an upstart, basically, and that's where the scribes are having problems with them. So. Okay, well, I'm almost ready to begin as well there, Dalbert, so let's see what you've got. No presence of scribe rocks among you, so that's probably good. What have we wrought upon the stars? What do you mean? How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to create darkness in the sky of my own volition? That's not something that I'm capable of. I'm not some eldritch magician. Anyway. We have to pick somebody to be liberated now. Before we do that, let's take a look at what we're up against here. So Dalbert himself has maximum enlightenment, as it turns out, I think. Yeah, he's got rank 5 because he has these 4 things here. Cloud Jump, Lightning Run, Lucky Break, and Moonsault. So I think he's got everything on the left side of the tree, actually. He's got a Dying Flame. He deals bonus damage when they have less Pyre than we do, which isn't always going to happen. But it looks like they all have the Dying Flame, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Almer himself has the Quick Fling, so we'll have to be careful of that. He also has Maximum Enlightenment. Remember that for in a little while. And then, yeah, all the other non-character members of the Triumvirates also have names of their own, but because they aren't main characters or major characters, they just have their masks on. So they have names, just not big parts of the story, that's all. Okay, so we have 3 potential candidates for enlightenment as usual. We have Jodario, we have Ruki, and we have Sir Gilman. And of the bunch, well, we're going to send Jodariel home next.
Jodariel.
Because she's been down here for 16 fucking years, so it's about time she got out, and it's, well, Jay kind of needs a guiding light in her life, so to make sure she stays on the straight and narrow path. So Jodario, you're up and you're out.
Who shall stand with her?
It helps too, because that means that I can have her acting in such a way that she's already in the center, and she's a defensive character, which is usually how I prefer, so it should work out pretty nicely. Ruki's pretty high on enlightenment at the moment already. I could work on getting Tizo up and get him some enlightenment, because Sir Gilman's already been... He's up a little bit further from Tizo, so it might be worth it to have him catch up. If I'm going to do that... Let's see. I'm trying to think what I should use as Tizo's... Because we just gave him Last Laugh. So since we just gave him Last Laugh, maybe this is a good opportunity to test the Thorn Knot and see how it works. Haoub's Wing is a really good talisman, and it might be considered blasphemy for me to be taking it off, but yeah, it's okay. We should be all right, I think. Our scoring opportunities might be a little low, but, well, we have Bertrude with the prayer beads, so technically speaking, that's the only scoring opportunity we need. So, we'll be more defensive this time, that's all. We will support Jodariel Tizo, and we'll see how well we can get her out of here. In the meantime, Bertrude, you're up. Sounds good. Alright, so let's see what we can do.
Done.
That is the plan, Dalbert. Alright, let's see what all of you can do. So we'll try to do the same thing as usual. We'll grab the ball. If we get banished, it's fine because we were a distraction. So that Bertrude could do that. And do 30 damage! Right away! Okay. Well, I'm just going to take this, actually. And now, Tizo, you can have the ball. That's fine. Oh, okay. Let's defend the ball real quick with Tizo. Just for the opportunity for Bertrude to come back so she can slither her way in. Just like that. Bertrude with the prayer beads is busted as fuck. In case you weren't aware, Bertrude with the prayer beads is busted as fuck. She's like super incredibly powerful with them. She's so fast with Serpent Swiftness. And her jump is nuts. She can jump over people. She deals 30 damage as long as you have the hexes. It's absurd. She is absolutely absurd with them. She's the best plunger in the entire game. And by that I mean scorer. So like if you don't have Jay left anymore, if you don't have Rukis or Gilman, she is easily the best replacement for them. If I didn't have the prayer beads, I'd have her on the Luminous Idol. If I didn't have either of those, I'd have her on the Kerfang, and we'd be scoring a lot less, but that's okay. Well, I got favor from Jamur as well, so maybe he'll smile on the both of you. Or all of you. So, when they say this, I'll just clear up the English here. If they're banished now, they shall not soon return. That's kind of an old-ish type of a way of doing it, but basically, they gained a boost to their, or rather, a reduction to their timer to respawn. So now, if, let's say they had a 7-second timer before, now it's like, I think it's 3.5 seconds now. So, just keep that in mind. As I said, you run into it, or I run into it, it doesn't really matter either way. Tizo, let you slide up here. Okay, that's fine. Goodbye. And now we need to score but one single more time, and that's it. And then Jodariel's out of here. Gotcha. Tizo, why don't you take care of him real quick? I'll take that, thank you. Wait for it, wait for Dalbert to get out of the way, and oh, okay, I missed. Run, quickly. Okay, that's fine. Now you'll notice that there is a sign behind our Pyre there. That's the moon sign that Tizo had available to her. So just keep that in mind, because it'll come in handy for him later on. So, just gonna run up here, wait for it, and go. Oh, I missed again. Okay, it didn't matter. My aim was true before, it just wasn't true where it counted for a moment. Noxalis, but it was true to the end anyway, so. Yeah, the Fate, they don't really stand much of a chance in most of these rights. It kind of sucks for them, too. Because depending on who you ask, letting the Fate win that Liberation right might be a better ending. I'll talk about it once we're done here.
Return to glory in the Commonwealth.
For now, we have to get Jodariel out of here.
Adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Sorry I had to be so ruthless, Dalbert, but I've got a lot of friends to get out of here still. And this line right here is actually why I disagree with people when they say, yeah, well, letting the Fate win a Liberation right might be the better ending, because you separate the two of them. You separate Dalbert and Almer if they win the Liberation right. And honestly, I feel like it sucks that Almer's a kid and he's down here, but it's better that he's here with his guiding principles, his adoptive father, who can really keep him on the straight and narrow, at least until Dalbert keels over dead in a few years. But, well, that's a somber note that we don't need to think about right now, because the largest of our own is now ready to make her grand entrance back to the Commonwealth, so. Captain, good work. You didn't, huh? Well, it came earlier than you thought, then. Probably nothing good, to be honest. I was gonna say, then we have a lot of work to do, but good, Captain. Good to hear. Glad to hear your resolve is still strong, because it should be. Farewell, Captain Jodariel. Do well on the surface with all the rest of our friends. Captain Jodariel has earned back her freedom. She is set to return to the Commonwealth and leave the downside forever. May she return in glory.
Godspeed, Captain Jodariel. The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may yet continue for a while.
How long? Nobody knows at the moment. Hopefully we'll figure it out eventually. 1190 Enlightenment. Holy shit, Tizo. Nice work. And Bertrude's not too far behind. 1155 on the Enlightenment. She's pretty damn close to rank 4. She'll get there in her next appearance in a rite, so that's cool. We'll work out for us.
Begin anew.
So, Volfred, when do we have to break the bad news to people here? Because I get the feeling some of them are not going to be too happy to hear it. Jodariel's liberation, like I said before, I always get a little sad at the end of these liberation rites because it means you won't see them again. Jodariel's in particular, for me, is usually one of the sadder ones because on most playthroughs, she's one of my favorite characters. I love her development as a character. Unfortunately, in this particular playthrough, we didn't get, like, any of her development, hardly. We got the baseline amount of development for her, but there's, like, this extra special scene she gets with the Tempers, if you have her do stuff with that. If you keep the Moon-Touched Girl down here, she has a bunch of special scenes with her. And usually that means Jodariel ends up lasting a while for me, and almost until near the end of the Liberation Rites as a defensive unit, but I had already sent Jay up, and we didn't get the special scene with the Tempers, so I said, okay, I think her character's development is pretty much up, so let's let her go. It's probably for the best. So we're without a defensive unit at the moment, though, so that leaves me a little bit concerned, but we'll figure that out, I guess. But yeah, so she's regained her freedom in a liberation, right? Yeah, it's a bittersweet moment, I suppose, because she's not here to help us anymore, but it's good that she's out of here. I mean, we will, by hook or by crook, but I'm not going to say I'm not going to miss her. Yeah, I get the feeling I know what's about to happen here, so. As for the plan, it turns out Captain Jodariel had a very large impact on the plan. She had a 9% base impact on the plan's probability, and she'll have even more going forward. I think the only other person that has a higher impact on the plan is standing among us at the moment, but, well, we'll talk about them in a little bit. Well, yeah, they can't stargaze, so they wouldn't know this, but we do. It's not a good omen, that's all we know. I was going to say, we should probably have waited until we went to the Moonlight Alcove to tell them this so they had a chance to rest up, and it isn't like they're hearing all this exhausted and they have to fall into bed defeated when we go to the alcove. Yeah, forever, as in, not all of us are getting out of here. Yeah. Yeah, the impression before was that, oh yeah, there'll be enough liberation rites to get us all out of here, and then eventually, you know, the entire group will be up there and we'll just, you know, have a peaceful revolt. It'll change hands quickly and we'll start working on a better future. But, yeah, and it's, as Volfred says here, basically there are less chances than just your active roster of Nightwings. So you have currently 5 members left in your Nightwings active roster. We have Ruki, Sir Gilman, Pamitha, Bertrude, and Tizo. So that means there are 4 or less liberation rites left in the entire game, which is not good at all, because that means that at least 2 people, including myself, will be left down here, if not more so. But yeah, it's like Volfred said, we still got to keep our eyes forward, we still got to try to get people out of here at every opportunity. Even if we've been winning all the liberation rites so far, we can't let it go to our heads. We just have to keep moving forward with every opportunity we have to take it. So, and yeah, as long as we stick together within this, we should be not okay necessarily, but we should be able to get a few more people out of here at least. So, Tariq, pondering the grease stone or something else on your mind? Well, thanks. It was not really that difficult, to be honest. Bertrude plus the prayer beads against an opponent that can't really jump that easily is kind of busted, so. I hope so. I mean, it seems like Volfred had high hopes for her, considering his probabilities have gone up so high. Yeah, so I'll explain this once Tariq is done talking, but it is a bit of a bitter loss for Dalbert and the rest of them. So. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I will attempt to do so. Take care of yourself, Tariq, until I see you again. Yeah, so the loss for the fate there, some people would consider that to be one of the bad endings, quote-unquote, for them. I personally disagree, like I said, because I feel like it's not right to separate Dalbert and Almer. But what happens in the liberation rite of the Fate win the rite is Dalbert is the anointed one, and what he does is he says his final tearful farewell to Almer, and then anoints him on the spot and throws him into the Shimmer Pool, and because he anointed him properly, Almer actually gets freed instead of Dalbert, and then Dalbert promptly dies down here within a couple of turns of the rites, and Almer goes free. And that's why some people are like, yeah, that's a better ending, because then this young kid who doesn't deserve to be down here because he's got his whole life ahead of him goes free, and then he can see a new future, a peaceful future, and he can contribute towards it. And he does contribute towards it if he goes up there. He doesn't increase the probability of success of the plan for Volfred, but he does contribute in the ending where he's freed. It's just, like I said, I don't feel right separating the two of them. And the other thing about that is that now that we know that there's 4 or less liberation rites left, in order for the most peaceful resolution to happen, that would mean I'd have to win every liberation rite after this. And considering Oralek is fucking people up left and right, the chances of me winning if he shows up are slim to none. So I'm gonna just not worry about that for right now. I gotta be ruthless if it means that I have to face Oralek eventually. Anyway, we got some new chapters. The Fate. We'll probably get some new ones after the Moonlight Alcove rest as well, but let's read these while we have them. The Fate united under Many Mane the Alpha Chief. He is brash, but follows his traditions. He prizes faith, discipline, and honor, qualities he seems to lack at first. He formed the Fate under the precepts of olden bylaws of his four-legged ancestors. They believed in a certain natural order in the way of things. Many Mane wanted for the Fate to likewise show respect. Initially, he only chose from other curs. He, however, urged the Fate to replenish their numbers from any race or ethnic group thus willing. Thus shall they anticipate what is to come with open eyes and minds, and never frown upon what is in store for them. So those parting words there from Haub are probably, again, the reason why the Fate have gone off the beaten path for these triumvirates, because they did, in fact, replenish their numbers from any race or ethnic group, because Dalbert, a cur, took on Almer, a savage, in the group and adopted him as his son. But Almer did not anticipate what was to come with open eyes and minds, and never frown upon what was in store for him, because he was always cursing his fate, and that's pretty much why the scribes frowned upon them, or still are frowning upon them at the moment. So, nothing new in the rest of the book. We have another one from St. Triesta on kinship. Each one of us within the 8, besides the imp Haub, we would have perished in the downside had we not found each other and together formed our union. Here in the downside all are bound, but that which binds us here does have some latitude. We chose the bond of kinship. Our exile took precedence over our differences. The empire which had subjugated all our kind into a tense alliance shall give way to a society in which our differences are paramount. There may you embrace your ancient cultures, whilst jointly forming a great culture, all its own. Next to mercy, it is kinship that shall form the bedrock of our commonwealth. And mercy was probably the more debatable of the two, depending on who you talk to here. But kinship, the commonwealth just went way the fuck off the beaten path with that one. The Highwing remnants are still trying to kill all of us. They don't they haven't severed ties with the saps and the bog crones and all that stuff, but they've definitely frowned upon their existence for a while, and the rest of the people that are there could just as soon allow any criminal, no matter the crime or whether the crime is legit, burn in exile forever. So yeah, it's not exactly the way that the scribes anticipated it. So hey, Kolo Malinsky. Kolo, thank you for coming back. How you doing? Welcome back. We're playing some Pyre. We are currently... We just finished the 3rd Liberation Rite, so we are 15-1, and probably the Withdrawn are going to be our next adversaries. But before we deal with them, we got to go rest up and wait for the next cycle. So that's where we're going to go. Yeah, let's rest on our laurels, because we did just get somebody out of here, so even if the rites are coming to an end, we can at least wait for the next ones to happen. It's not like we can force them into existence. That would be nice, because then we could fray more people, but, you know. And nobody wants to see me in the Black Wagon. Understandable, they're probably all still stunned to silence at the fact that we're all kind of screwed here, but let's bide our time until the next cycle, anyway. So... that's the hope. Although the next time they happen, it might not be until the turn of the season, so we may be in for a little bit of a longer cycle anyway, so. You streamed Evolution for the Dreamcast for a bit, gonna record a video with some friends later. Nice. Well, hopefully it all goes well for you. I can't say I'm familiar with the game. I did own a Dreamcast, but I only owned, like, all the most popular stuff for it, so that's not too familiar with the name, but again, hopefully it all goes well for you and your friends there. Oh, I gotta read again, yeah. Thus, you and your companions remain on the mountaintop, waiting for the stars to shine again. The cycle of the rites is ending. The news that Volfred and the Lone Minstrel revealed to you now threatens to disrupt the group's resolve. Who most deserves their freedom? Can there be any hope for your revolutionary plan to change the Commonwealth if too few exiles manage to return? These questions hang like a fog over you and your companions as you linger there on Mount Elodiel. For now, the exiles of the Nightwings vow to stick together, for as many opportunities as they shall have. Many moons pass, and then the next cycle will begin. And now it's snowing. Great. So that means it didn't turn the season yet. It's near Christmas time. Fantastic. That means it's going to be another short cycle. Yeah, despite the blizzard outside, we can see the stars, so that's a good sign. Well, yeah, to show solidarity for your friend, who apparently is now alive. Who knew? Right. I really hope that music that's on the TV upstairs isn't going to get me a copyright strike. I don't know how well it can be heard, but it's there. So yes, when we've learned of the Nightwings previously, well, we know Oralek now. He was the chief physician of the Commonwealth, came down here and was abandoned and betrayed in his moment of glory. We heard a little bit of Irissa. We didn't really get a whole lot about her story, but she did conduct the rites alongside Volfred and Oralek. And then there's this other guy, Brighton, a former exile of the Nightwings who conducted the rites alongside them. Not a whole lot about him either, so these two are names that we'll have to watch out for more information about. And, well, we know Tizo, but yeah. You'll notice again, by the way, that Will of the Scribes is playing in the background, but it's missing that bass that happens whenever Oralek is around. So again, I love what they do with the choreography of that track specifically, because whenever Oralek is not around, it plays without the bass playing in the background. But when he's here, the bass kicks in and the track becomes significantly more terrifying than it is normally. So. Oh, okay, fair enough. So yeah, I guess my understanding is that Brighton himself was a reader, so they needed a new reader once he was liberated, and they found a new reader in Volfred, which is why they took him in. And this is the one, yeah, I was going to say, where the accusers lost here, because Tizo snuffed out their pyre with the last score, and then Oralek was up to earn his freedom. And here's the information about Orisa that I was just asking about, because apparently in a last moment of desperation, Orisa, instead of allowing Oralek to go free, flung him from the Shimmer Pool and tried to jump in herself. You may remember I've said this entire time that that was not a good idea, and this is why. She died. The Shimmer Pool drowned her when she tried to take freedom for herself, even though she was not anointed. Why she would do that is anyone's guess. I don't know her very well, but yeah, when Oralek was pushed from the Shimmer Pool, he fell all the way down Mount Elodiel, and everyone thought he died too. Until this previous cycle where we found out that was not true. Orisa, she's dead, like 100% dead, but Oralek, no. He lived, and he is ready to fuck people up. So... But yeah, considering what had happened, Volfred understandably decided maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. And he basically buried the Nightwings as a result of all of this. He blamed the Rights for what happened, he blamed the Commonwealth, but he didn't want it all to continue. Until now. Yeah, and I think my interpretation, I think it's a little open for interpretation here, but my interpretation of the game's story is that the reappearance of the Titan Stars, the reappearance of Kael'mar's Island and the Deathless Tempest as a Rights site, and the stars fading themselves, all coincide with every one of the triumvirates that the scribes created going against themselves in some way. Before this, the Nightwings were still a singular mind, and that's why everything went relatively smoothly, despite the fact that every other triumvirate was kind of out of it in terms of, like, they weren't following the original creeds of the triumvirates. But the Nightwings still were, so the scribe said, okay, so we still have some power here. But with Oralek now on the scene, that's all gone completely to shit, because now the Nightwings themselves are divided, and because they're divided, that means that all of the triumvirates are losing their magical powers due to the fact that they aren't following the scribe's teachings anymore. It's not something we have control of, but it still sucks. So, but Volfred's right. We have to take this opportunity to take action. So, and what's that decision? And the decision is that Volfred is finally going to end his period of solidarity, especially knowing that Oralek is not dead anymore. He will conduct the rites as a member of the Nightwings again. So now we have 6 members again. But again, that means that there's going to be at least 3 people left behind now, because there's 4 or less rites left in total. So, and he's right. We do need to bring everything we have. Otherwise, we're not going to get out of here. So, all right, sounds like a plan, Volfred. Good to have you. So Volfred stands ready to conduct the rites again. He is the final member of the Nightwings, so it's a total of 9 members, and ideally there would have been 9 or 10 liberation rites, although I don't know how he would have done the 9th and 10th if we won the rest of them, but let's welcome him back to the ranks for now, and then we'll see where we're going. We also get Volfred's story right away, because he's kind of drip-fed it to us over the course of our time here anyway, so we can look at his whole bio now. But before we do that, let's take a look at where we're going next. I hope the Glade of Lu shows up somewhere here, because we haven't gone back there since way back at the beginning of the game, but, well, we'll see who's available and what they're doing. So if we don't want to fight the Withdrawn, we're going to have to fight them in one of the rites here to make them drop their favor. Then it'll either be the Accusers or the Chastity, but we could just fight them in order, even though Umilda's lost her faith in her... in the Astralborn, she's still willing to conduct the rites. So, I mean, then if we just fight them, then the Accusers, and then the Chastity, and then, I guess the Dissidents? This is all assuming that Oralek doesn't mess with us, but yeah, you know, we'll see. It is December, the 2nd of 12th moon, if you look at Volfred's notes over here. Okay, here we go. Reader, my boy, as I shall now conduct the rites with the others, I implore you, please take over for me here. Scribes be with you. So now we will start to write the notes instead of Oralek, since he's conducting the rites. So I guess he's busy training rather than writing that stuff. So, Oh yeah, and by the way, speaking of the rites that we have to conduct, you'll notice now that there are only 2 rites until the next liberation. Before this, there were 3 regular rites and then a liberation rite. Now there's only going to be 2 regular rites and then the next liberation rite. So we're getting lower and lower on our totals here, which is unfortunate, but we'll do what we can with it for now. Alright, let's pick a location, shall we? The accusers are at Orez. Could go there with T-Zone, have them fight them. We could go to Jamur to fight the Withdrawn, or we could go fight the Tempers at Midnight Star. I'm not really too concerned about the Tempers, especially now that we have already liberated Jodariel. They don't really have any interaction with us now that she's freed, so I think we'll go face off against the Accusers, actually. We keep going back to Orez after each liberation rite, but that's okay. We'll get to the Glade of Lu eventually. We've gone everywhere else except there since then, I think, so. Yeah, sounds like a plan there, Volfred. So we will leave at first dawn. But we also have some more stuff here as well. I think this is telling us about, Volfred's biography, which we can now read. So he's a long-standing exile of the Nightwings who seeks more than his own freedom. By day, he was an unassuming history professor. By night, he operated at a small but illegal stamping press of his own design, which he used to disseminate provocative ideas concerning how a truly peaceful Commonwealth might look. When his underground press was at last discovered, it was publicly destroyed. Eventually, he too was found and cast down. In the downside, he was taken in by the Nightwings, who sought someone with his experience. Since then, he hatched a long-term plan to recruit like-minded individuals who might stand together to usher in a new age for the Commonwealth. So, yeah, not only was he literate, he was also publishing things for other literate people to read, and he was thrown in here for insurrection 9 years ago. Which means that all this shit that happened with the Nightwings has happened sometime in the last 9 years. And that tracks, because if you look at Lendl's biography, which we will take a look at when we go there in a little bit, he's only been in here for, I think, 6 years? Something like that. So all of this stuff with Aurelek and Orissa and Brighton and Lendl happened not too long ago. Now you'll notice that Volfred is very low in terms of his enlightenment totals right now. He only starts with 200. However, he has the maximum amount of inspiration. He will constantly gain more enlightenment than everybody else because his inspiration is basically maxed out. And that will make him not necessarily easy to max out, but it will make it easier to max him out than it would otherwise be if he started with no inspiration, or very little, like Bertrude did. So, and I mean, even so, Bertrude has still climbed pretty high anyway. But, yeah, there you go. Volfred, speaking of which, will replace Jodariel as our defensive unit. He's going to get the Ashen Coal, and he probably won't ever take it off, honestly. So, excuse me. And when he's not defending, I'll probably have Tizo do it, because we have 4 good scorers now, and we have 3 accessories that we can use on either of them. We got the Luminous Idol, we got the Prayer Beads, we got Triestas. So we'll just stick the 2 that we need on whomever is going to use them, and then we'll move from there. As for the next rite, well, Volfred's definitely going along because he's the lowest currently on Enlightenment, so we'll take him with us. I should probably bring Tizo, even if he's not necessarily a good scorer, because it'd probably be nice to rub it in Lendl's face a little bit, but I'm not sure if he's the best for this next rite. So because of that, I might take Pamitha and Bertrude instead. We'll see. I think that should probably work pretty okay for us in terms of everybody working together, and then we'll have everybody else after that. So, and then Bertrude might even get to rank 4 because of that, so we'll see what happens. Got a new page, so let's read it. The Afterword. So we've unlocked the final chapter of the book. This one, I'm only going to read a little bit of it because it's mostly a glossary to give you some key terms if you are unsure about certain things about the book. So here's the Afterword. As an exile of the downside, by the way, you'll notice this isn't underscored by any of the scribes, so someone else wrote this. We don't know who yet. I don't think you ever find out, actually, but I assume that it was either all of them keeping the terms together, or maybe it was Kaelmer, or maybe it was someone else. Another exile that left this in the book after the fact. Who knows? As an exile of the downside, as reader of this book, and as conductor of the rites, you are engaged now in a cycle which has lasted since the dawn of this age. Here, within this part of the book, is offered summary of all key figures, locales, terms, and astral phenomena you shall occur, either first-hand or in passing on your path. To know the history of the downside and the rights is to prepare yourself to walk the path toward enlightenment and then to liberty itself. Should you be free again, remember, reveal not the rights themselves nor the existence of this book. And that didn't happen because the people that left here are well aware of the rights and the existence of this book. That's why they banned literacy. That's why there's so many high-ranking officials in government that have taken advantage of it to their own ends. But yeah, so you can read the glossary in here. It's got terms from the rights that you might want to know, and it continues here. Now, when you inspect these pages, and the reason why I'm not going to be reading these is that it only gives you the leftmost page. As far as I'm aware, you can't look at the other pages, unless there's maybe another... Nope, you can't actually press a button, as far as I'm aware, to go to the other pages here, which is unfortunate, but yeah, but that's one of the reasons why I'm not reading, is because, I mean, I could read all of this stuff because it's on a bigger screen now, but it's all there if you want to read it. You can keep going through and take a look at more about the triumvirates. We'll get that information. A lot of this information's already in the book that we are going to read anyway, so it's, if you want to read up on it more, it's there. The denizens of Sar are also here. Regions of the downside. And really, if you don't get all of the other pages in the book, this is probably a good resource for you, because it'll tell you everything that you would want to know if you didn't gain access to it previously. So, celestial landmarks you might want to know. The greater titans themselves, you'll notice that the Astroborn's name is blurted out here, which is another reason why I think this was written after the fact by other right-goers, because they said in the book that they would take his name out, but I'm not convinced that they would take it out here, you know. So, the Olden stars, these are the ones that people who are born under, like these are basically like the horoscope stars. People are born under these and have certain traits to them. So, and that's it. 180 pages in this book total. I don't think we'll unlock all of them over the course of the game. I think we'll come close, but it kind of really depends on if the Glade of Lu shows up and if a couple of other things show up. But I'll do the best I can to unlock as many of them as I can. But we're done, so let's fly through the snow here. There is no travel advisory here. I'm like, what the hell?
To thusly contact you, O reader.
Why are you contacting me outside the rights?
Reached me recently.
What's that?
That you have within your retinue a traitor.
I mean, we all committed crimes against the Commonwealth, didn't we?
Alike.
Are you talking about Oralek?
You would never harbor such a traitor, now would you?
Not in my wagon. Oralek's not allowed here.
Time within the downside would have taught you that.
Uh-huh. Well, that was strange. He contacted me in my sleep. Kind of bullshit. I hope he doesn't keep that up. I hope that doesn't become a trend. Anyway, we're all restless, so I guess it's time to take off. Off we go. Let's see if there's anything else to find in terms of the little blurbs. The little dots on the map that we can get. And if we can find them, then so much the better, because that'll add to our understanding of the book. If not, then, well, that means we got all of them already. So, there is one right here. Volfred, feeling a little nostalgic about this place? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. You lived here for a while, too, so it is quite the view, even through the snow. Let's go see if there's any more. I think a certain amount of blips pop up on the radar depending on when, like what cycle you're in, so you won't be able to get all of them right away. Oh, good, we hit Tamitha. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sure you would. And you will always be beneath your hometown because you can't quite get back up there, so what's your point? Oh, there is one over here. We're near the entrance to the Deathless Tempest, but the climate, well, in the Deathless Tempest has subsided a little bit, but it's possible that it'll start to pop up again because it's been a little while since that happened, and I mean, there's a blizzard going on throughout the entirety of the downside, so the likelihood that it will stay, well, undeathless is low. certain riches for those who can find them. Maybe some stardust. Alchemical reagents. So that one's one we can sell. And that one is for a talisman. Powerful talisman is rumored to be buried on that path. So that's another event talisman, like the Luminous Idol. I'm not really keen on a lot of those, and we have really solid talismans all the way around at the moment, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's fine. We don't really need to worry about that anymore. So let's go check and see if there's any more sections that we can find blips on our radar, and then we'll go back towards Oris. I'll probably land at the same place we always land, because the stuff that he was talking about might be stardust, and that would be helpful since I now have an additional talisman to rank all the way up. So yeah, it'll give me something to do anyway. Keep me busy while I keep my mind off the fact that not every one of us is going to get out of here now, but you know. Alright, Sir Gilman, let's go fishing again at the Fathomless Trench, our favorite place in the whole world. Let's survey the sea, shall we? What did you find? Go see if you can get it. A boon, huh? What kind of boon? Deep eels. Okay, so it's not stardust, but it will get us 75 more soul for the slug market, so we can buy more stardust when he has it available. Thanks, Sir Gilman. That works pretty well. Speaking of Sir Gilman, here he is in the wagon. He has something on his mind and a fire in his eye, so let's take a look. Are you okay? Do you need someone to talk to? Oh. Why? Were you yelling at yourself just now? I thought I told you that it's not good to do that. Are you okay? I don't want to, you know, pry, but it didn't sound like you were okay a minute ago. And what horrors were those? No, it's all right. I'm the one everybody comes to for this, so I'm pretty good at it, so. Oh, here we go. He's going to give me a list. Yeah, I think I know about that one because, well, after Sir Deluge's retreat, you guys fell into disarray there. Yeah. Probably. I can't imagine how many of your friends died. Yeah, so sorry about that whole thing. It's lucky you survived. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that would be a fair reason for you to live, because if you tried to get Sir Deluge back, that would have led you away from the battlefield, so. I mean, it might have, but you can't think about that now. There's nothing you can do about that now. Uh-huh. It probably, unfortunately, they probably saw it that way. So you weren't actually caught and tried. You went here of your own volition? Knowing that Sir Deluge was down here anyway? I don't really see it as that absurd. If he retreated when he wasn't allowed to retreat, this is the only place he would have gone. So, that's unfortunate. Yeah, fair enough. And then you guys decided to yeah, and that's the problem that Sir Deluge has, is that it's something that he kind of has in his character development that you see in bits if you fight him across the game. Like, you may have seen him previously when we're kicking his ass in the rights, him saying, no, this is going to be another shameful defeat. We're too bad at this. He's a coward, and it's a part of who he is, and he is too much of a coward to break free from it. It's a curse that he lives with. So, and it was so much of a curse that they said, hey, you led the people in the Spiral Sanctum, right? That means you could lead us when the Pyre Hearts came to him. And he couldn't say no. Sometimes you have to know your own limitations, and Sir Deluge just doesn't know when to state so. Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're with us now. I feel like you're serving a much better sentence with us than you were with him. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, he did give you one of his scales as a result of the scribe trial, so I wouldn't be shocked. I think you can do it there, Sir Gilman. But I'm glad he feels relieved at sharing all this, because it also unlocks his roster bio. Not too many of those left to do now, actually. I think we've got most of them. Tizo's, we already know because he doesn't have a crime applicable. Sir Gilman's is done. Pamitha, I think, is the only one... No, Bertrude is left as well. We don't know what she did to get down here. But Pamitha and Bertrude are the only ones left that we need to look into. So, as for Sir Gilman, he is a once proud knight of the Sea Dominion on a self-made quest to regain his honor. We now know that that's literal because he did not commit a crime in the Spiral Sanctum. He tried to stand his ground and then tried to pursue his commander. Both of these were probably considered admirable traits, but he didn't... Yeah, he volunteered for exile, and that's why he's here. He was a knight-errant of the Sea Dominion who sought glory in the Commonwealth, where he became a frontline fighter in the never-ending war against the Harps. In this, he fared much better than most of his kind, until the day of the disastrous siege of the Spiral Sanctum. Excuse me, hold on. There we go. Where his entire regiment was destroyed in an ambush. As one of the sole survivors of this incident, Sir Gilman accepted full responsibility for the outcome and volunteered to go into exile as penance for the failure, and he's been here for 3 years as a result. That's unfortunate for him, but pretty soon we might actually be able to get him out of here, so it won't be unfortunate for very long. Alright, we are fighting the Accusers next. I think I mentioned I was going to go Pamitha, Volfrid, Bertrude with this next one. So, yeah, it's probably just going to be exactly the way that they are here because Pamitha and Bertrude can both do with a little bit of experience, and then we'll have Sir Gilman, Ruki, and Tizo hanging out as our other team, basically. So, like, we've got 2 teams of 3 at the moment, and they do function fairly well together with those, because what'll basically happen is we have Volfrid, whose defensive capabilities will help us get to the ball quickly, and then he can pass it to Pamitha or Bertrude, who can then grab the ball and take it all the way to the hoop. Or, in the case of the other team, we have 2 good runners in Ruki and Sir Gilman, and then we have Tizo, who can get to the ball and throw it to one of them, and then when they try to banish him, he'll just explode because of the last laugh ability, and then the Thorn Knot will make it bigger, so... Now the only thing that I can think of is to get him some of the presence serums so that way his aura and his explosion are larger. 17 is pretty good for presence for him at the moment, but we can make it more, so we will try to do that. But for now, we actually have to get to Under King Orez's place, where we have played like 4 rights so far. So let's head back here to fight the Accusers, shall we? Probably means we'll be fighting them last in terms of... like before, in between them and the Chastity, we'll probably be fighting the Chastity first because we haven't seen them yet. So, who's in my path? Oh, it's Ron. Hi, Ron. What's up? Sorry for scaring him. He doesn't really look that different from usual. A really special deal, huh? Okay. I'm sure they will. I know exactly what he's going to sell. I don't personally think any of it is worth it, but it's there if you want it. So, we're headed to the Hulk of Orez, yeah, but it's like 5 feet that way, Ron. It may have enough room for Ron barely for the short remainder of the trip, but yeah, there's a troubling energy from the artifacts, but there's also a troubling energy from Ron. The thought of having to travel with Falcon Ron fills you with a nameless dread. Yeah, I'm kind of on board for that. If you take him along, you suffer, I forget what kind of a penalty it is in the next rite. I think it's a glory penalty, actually, which is really bad for who we're going against. Like, if it was the Pyre Hearts or something, I'd be all for doing this, but since it's the Accusers, they've gotten a few upgrades since the last time we saw them, and I'm not keen to let Ron fuck me up because he wants to come along. Sorry, Ron. We don't really... Yeah, we just got all of our accommodations filled up again. Sorry, man. We'll see you around. No, it's okay. If they're all out of stock, then we made our choice. It's fine. That's what I'm saying. At least one, if not all, of your fellow exiles breathes a sigh of relief. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you suffer a glory penalty in the next rite if you take him along, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we've gotten here before Ron, which means he's not going to be available to purchase anything at the moment, which means we missed out not only on the artifacts, but also on any Stardust he could have had. Although, I don't think he has any Stardust available in this particular segment because his new items in the shop would just be those artifacts that he was talking about. So I don't think we missed out on anything particularly valuable because it's not Stardust. So, yeah, fair enough. Alright, so I think we're all prepped. Sir Gilman doesn't need the prayer beads because he's not coming with us for this one. Bertrude will probably get to rank 4. Volfred will definitely get to rank 2, and he'll be well on his way to rank 3. I think if I remember correctly, with the Titan stars that I have on, he needs to conduct 5 rites that you win in between now and the end of the game to max out. It doesn't seem like much, but that was, I think, what he conducted the last time I played through the game. Although I did mentor him a couple of times with the book, but we have an opportunity to do that, or we'll have an opportunity to do that when we work on our vocations next, so we should be able to do stuff with that soon enough. And I'll probably wait to get the last quickness boost from the global bonus section until, like, the last possible moment with vocations, so, like, the last vocation that we do in the entire game. Okay, but I think we're good, so off we go. Let's commence the rites since we got here before Ron. I'll take a drink because I'm going to need it before we go fight Lendl. No sign of them, huh? Oh, that's not good. It gives Orlek an opportunity to catch up to us wherever the hell he is. Yeah, I heard you did, yeah, actually. And he does, yes. Oh, hang on, Tizo. We got the rites are ready to conduct. I don't think there's any bonus for taking Tizo to this particular rite, if I recall correctly. So, yeah. Biolanthius is the next Titan star that's available here. Your adversaries shall deal an additional 5 to your Pyre, 5 damage. And, I mean, yeah, that's not terrible if you're fighting against, again, like the Pyre Hearts or something. But if you're fighting against the Accusers now, post-first cycle, well, you'll see why you don't want this one on in just a moment when we finally see Lendl. And we see what kind of upgrades he's rocking, because he's rocking some nasty upgrades, as you'll see momentarily. So, we'll just stick with what we've got for now. And I'd like to take Tizo into this rite because he has history with the Accusers, but Volfred really needs the Enlightenment at the moment, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that.
Or should I say, deceiver?
You really have it out for me now, don't you, voice man?
Exile in your ranks. The exile Volfred Sandalwood himself, that cursed sap.
So if you knew he was here, then why did you come to me in a dream and talk about that?
He has no love for our sacred tradition.
Actually, he likes it probably more than you do. You might have used it for self-gain to get to where you were. You should assume no such thing about me.
Let us return to a more formal distance.
Thank you. That's what I would have wanted anyway. So. Alright. I don't know where the Accusers are. Uh-oh, there they are. What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you trying to attack my Triumvirate? Get the fuck off of him. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I think we might give it a shot after you just tried to assault my imp. Oh boy. Tizo, are you okay? Yeah, evidently not. Well, we'll see what we can do. Ah, but we do have the Ashen Coal glitch coming in hot for us one more time because Volfred's going to be participating in the tutorial right here before the Accusers are ready. Yeah, well, it's good to have you back. True, very true. Let's hope that it's in motion enough to where they can't really stop it, so. Alright. Let's see what you've got, Volfred. So we kind of know what saps do already from having seen Manly at work. We've only seen Manly at work once, though. He sure can.
You're causing quite a stir out in the Commonwealth.
He can't move too quick, but he can shield in exchange for some of his stamina.
Know that your designs and sowing chaos shall not be tolerated here.
That's what you think.
Now, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening to you too. I was just waiting for you to be done so I could keep going with my spiel. Yeah, so his aura shield is kind of similar to Pamitha's when she dashes in the way that it deflects auras when you use it. So it isn't something that I use commonly, but it's there if he's out in the open without any defense. Now, in terms of dashing, he doesn't really dash. Instead, he blinks a set distance ahead of himself in exchange for some of his stamina. And he can blink 4 times before his stamina is depleted. The big reason why you want to use saps for the remainder of the game, if possible, and Volfred specifically, is because of saplings. His aura cast allows him to plop down this little guy, and what it does is it puts out an aura, a set distance away from him, and basically anything that's inside of this region is protected, including the Celestial Orb, which sometimes they can't even approach properly because if you put this dead onto the orb itself, enemies have a hard time with this, as we'll see soon enough. You can also reposition it if you need to, and the aura expands slowly to start with, but once we get some upgrades for him, that will not be the case, so he gets pretty damn good once you start upgrading his sapling. So we'll see what we can do with it. Well, we will all be standing together, and you'll be standing with us, Volfred, so we'll see what we can do. As for Lendl, he also has access to the Ashen Coal, and a roster bio update, so let's see how many years were on there, if I was correct. Yeah, 6 years in exile, so there you go. Although his motive was pride and corruption, so. He has the Ashen Coal, and he actually doesn't have the people that I thought he had before. It must only happen when you fight him the 3rd time. Usually what happens with Lendl by this point in the cycles is he has 2 demons flanking him, which makes him significantly scarier in terms of defense, but for right now he only has these nomads flanking him like he did in the original one, so yeah. They have the Living Flame, which is a little sketchy, but we'll work on that. You'll also notice that they're cheating some more at this point, because this Ashen Coal is upgraded past the point of maximum for your... like, you can't upgrade past rank 20, but here he is with a rank 35 Ashen Coal. I don't know how he managed that one, but the scribes probably aren't going to be too happy with him for it. So, I think he also has the quick shot thing that Jay had, because he's a savage, right? No, he's a nomad, so what's that one? Oh, Moon Formation. Okay, so they move it past more quickly, which is, I guess it's a little unfortunate. They're a good support team at the moment, but, well, we'll see if we can run circles around them with one of our strongest teams, ideally. So.
Volfred.
Alright, and then we'll go, who do I want on the near side? Probably Pamitha, because then she doesn't have as far to go, so she flies. And then Bertrude. So we'll start off with Volfred. And we'll have him spawn his little sapling, or maybe I'll just have him blink to the ball and give it to one of them, but yeah, we'll see what happens, so. I'm sure you won't there, Lendl, but you won't get the satisfaction of taking your revenge on him because, well, he's not here right now, so. Well, that was quick. I didn't even get a chance to blink into that. Alright, well. That's what you want to do. Douse without passing the orb. I can do that. There we go. 30 soul and 23 points of damage. Not bad. Of course, now it's just Volfred and Bertrude, but, you know. It's okay, there we go. I like to place Volfred near his sapling as well, because then it gets a larger aura, which is kind of helpful, so. I'll take this, thank you. Okay. I missed again. Well, that's unfortunate. Nice, got them both. And I shouldn't have dashed there. Because then they could do that. You could say that again. Yeah. Alright, well, anyway. I'll take this, thank you. You know, I'm going to give it to Bertrude, actually, because then she can come down here. Okay, no, right there. And do that! And with the prayer beads, she'll come back. I probably should have stuck her on the near side because of that, but that's okay. Would you like to try again? I'll take this. Thank you. And then away I will go. Okay. Oh, he shoulder smashed me. Oh, that's unfortunate. Goodbye. Gotcha. That was a little close, but hey, I'll take it. I jumped 1 pixel too late again. Damn it. Get out of here. Okay. Look at the ball. and then fly it in.
Brilliantly done.
That worked very well, actually. I didn't actually expect that to work. I expected to end up getting fucked, but I did not. Now, the quickest way that they can score is by doing exactly what they were trying to do right there. But thankfully, it didn't work out for them, so off we go. And run. Oh, I missed again, damn it.
Tough luck, Nightwings.
Yeah, you can say that one again.
A decisive blow.
I think they only have to do that 2 more times and they win, so. I'd prefer if that was not the case, especially with this team in particular, since it's a pretty damn good team, but, you know. I'll take this, thank you. Okay. Yeah, just go in. Just go in, Pamitha. We can't afford to mess around anymore. But yeah, the quickest way for them to win now would be to move quickly, basically. Take that. Okay, jump quick. No, jump quicker. Oh my god, she got in anyway. I don't know how that happened, but I'll take it. So, well, you've still got a chance, so don't count your chickens before they hatch there, Lendl. I'm just going to block this top section, because that seems to be where the problem lies. There we go.
An opportunity.
I see it. I'm not going to take it, though, until I get my stamina back, but I'll take it in a moment. There. I wanted them to come away from the pyre a little bit so I could take my opportunity. Get out. Okay, I thought I got them both, but I fanned out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know where you think you're going, but you're not going to get there. Okay. Nice. So the sapling automatically has the aura that surrounds Volfred. You can see it has the little shield there. So that's kind of nice. Makes it a little easier for them for the sapling to work in tandem with Volfred. Don't even think about it. Oh god, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Well, it's okay. Okay. Nope, It's okay for now, anyway. And now it's not okay because they're going to score again. Okay, that's okay though, because they don't have access to the living flame for right now, so... Okay. You know what, why don't you go ahead and do this? Pamitha doesn't get messed up. There we go. Gotcha. Alright, Pamitha, take it to the house. Let's do it. And with Triesta's, we can finish it. That was closer than I would have liked, but we got it. Noxalis.
Hardly deserved it, though, if you ask me.
You're just angry because... you're just angry. I mean, he's angry because of what's going on in the Commonwealth, but, you know. Yeah, probably a good idea, Tizo. I don't want to stick around any longer than we have to with this guy. Quick, hide my cloak! I mean, if you continue to think that, then you're never going to be free of him. No problem, Tizo. But yeah, that's actually quite a revelation that I kind of glossed over there. Tizo, well, we kind of sort of got a similar idea about that because he mentioned before that he knew in some way under King Orez when he went to the Cistern before. He apparently is a descendant directly of Haub the Swallow, or as close to directly as you can get down here, but yeah, he's got a bit of a legacy to live up to. We'll see what we can do to help him along with that. But before we do that, we gotta keep Pamitha and Volfred and Bertrude working their way up, so that's what we'll do. There we go.
Volfred always was a little slow to pick things up.
You guys always throw him under the bus just because he's more of a defensive unit. Come on now, stop that. It's fine, Volfred, you're doing great. You did really well in that one considering the fact that you had none of your good stuff here. So, Volfred gains his stuff from Luz Galorian 100 Mines. He has the legacies of all 100 Mines or the grasp of the Philosopher. I think this one's more of the support tree if I recall correctly, and yeah, as you can see here, he gets access to something called Final Kindling, which if you lose a right, instead of losing it, you'll get 10 Pyre back, and if you keep upgrading this all the way down, he'll shield his allies with the Guardian Shield. He has +5 Hope, which makes him come back from banishment faster, and eventually he'll get Miracle Kindling, which stacks with Final Kindling, which means you'll get 50 Pyre back if you ever lose. I try not to lose to begin with, and I mean, there is a retry button, so I could just do that in rights where I actually care about whether or not I lose. So I usually go up the left side instead. This one is nice. Guardian Sapling, it's a good start. It spawns a sapling near his pyre, which if enemies are a little careless, they might run into it. But usually it just forces them to have to kind of think out their path instead of just running straight to the goal like they usually do. So, Sturdy Sapling is probably the next one that I'm going to get. It gives him a faster than usual sapling spawn. It gains a larger aura, and the aura spreads out faster as well. And again, this stacks with any scribe rocks or anything like that you have. So if you've still got that and you want Volfred to have a good presence, you should use it. I'll probably just get the entirety of the left side now I'm thinking about it, because Unstable Sapling, I've been told, is really good because it'll detonate like Tizo's explosion basically, and then he can keep recasting it, which is kind of interesting. I've never used it, so I'll probably try it. Numbing Gust, though, is probably going to be his rank 4 one that we get, because it causes any adversaries that are on the field when we're all banished to be slowed down by, I think it's like 20% or something, so it's pretty good. And they can't use their abilities either, which means that they can't use, like, if they get quickness or something, like if it's the harps and they have greater celerity, that's disabled when Numbing Gust is happening, so it's pretty good. We'll see what we can do with it in the meantime, but first let's choose this mastery, Guardian Sapling, so we can start him on the rest of the tree after that. As for Bertrude, she got enough to get to rank 4. Perfect. You do learn the stuff of fear itself. Let's see what we can get you in terms of fear itself. We could get Vital Pounce. I'm not sure if I really want that at the moment, to be honest. I think I want the Hex of Defeat first, and then we'll get Vital Pounce as a rank 5, so... because we will start most of these with less pyre than the opponents, so being able to deal 30 damage right off the bat is kind of absurd, and it means that we can deal 30 damage with Bertrude in every situation except for when we're tied, which we probably never will be, but yeah, so Hex of Defeat, and then we'll work on Vital Pounce after that, so... Hey Marie, how's it going? Welcome back. You've woken up from a nap? What's good? Volfred is in robes, the fuck? You have missed quite a bit. Volfred is back to conducting the rites because of the fact that all the ill omens that we found on the last stream, going to the Isle of Kaelmer, Sandra talking about the rites coming to a close, and Aurelek showing up, have caused us all to come to one and only one conclusion, that the rites are going to be permanently ending sometime soon. If Volfred is to be believed, there are too many of members of our triumvirate to liberate in the number of rights that are left, which means that since we only had 5 people left when he told us this, there are 4 or less liberation rights remaining for the rest of the game. And also, they're speeding up, because now there's only 2 rights before each liberation right, which is concerning. It means we get people out of here faster, but it also means that we're rapidly approaching the end game here. We're moving exponentially closer with each passing right. So Volfred decided this was the best time to take action, and now he's conducting the rites again. So, yeah, there you go. I think that catches you up. Basically, a whole bunch of shit hit the fan in the first hour and 20 minutes of this stream. So... Well, the accusers had a bit of it out for us there, especially considering you didn't have any of your skills, but we made it anyway, so... I hope so for all of our sakes. We liberated Jodariel, by the way, and she has made a considerable impact on the plan's probability of success. She gave us 9% base, and she just gave us 3% more just now, so... Yeah, she's a pretty big help with that. Actually, I mentioned before that only one person among the group of us has a larger impact on the plan than Jodariel herself, and that's Volfred himself. If you manage to liberate him at any point later on in the game, I think he completely avoids the most bloody revolution. Excuse me. Like, I don't think that ending is possible if he's liberated, even if he's the only one, because he's the head of the plan, so he would be able to avoid that outcome. But it's kind of difficult to make Volfred liberated, period, let alone the only one, so... At least in my opinion. Maybe on, like, True Nightwing mode. So... Yeah, so we're fucked. That's basically the gist of it, yeah. Completely screwed. Is that the Glade of Lu? No, it's Kaelmer again, damn it. I wanted you to go up a little further. We haven't gone back to the Glade of Lu since this started. And not by my own choice. Oh wow, the dissidents moved up. The accusers moved way down. Holy shit. Well, that's fine. Anyway, I'm taking notes down here now, so let's read them, shall we? Salium, the 5th of 12th moon, 857 after Solium. Volfred asked that I take notes for him after each rite, henceforth. He indicates the cycle of the rites appears to be accelerating even faster now. We likely shall be summoned to the fall of Solium again very soon. And it even lists it here. The rites till next liberation, just one. So whoever you pick here is going to be the last rite before the next liberation. So we'll get 2 liberations done today. The Tempers are down at Jamur. The Dissidents are at Millith. They might be worth playing against again. Although they might get a chance at liberation if I take on the Withdrawn now. And I don't usually get the Dissidents to have a chance at liberation, and cucking the Withdrawn might not be a bad idea. So let me try that, actually. Let's see if we can prevail against them at Kael'mar. Or, if we lose, then, well, they're guaranteed to go to the next liberation, right, basically, which is unfortunate, but I'll do the best I can. How do we just keep the rights? How does that even work? How do we get the rights to just stop How and the Scribes? So the Scribe stars are disappearing from the sky. The Titan stars are growing ever larger in the sky, and there are more of them now than there ever were before. They weren't even around before this. So they're crowding out the old Scribe stars, and eventually they'll lose all of their light because the Titan stars, well, they won't lose their light, but the Titan stars will be so bright that you can't see the old Scribe stars anymore. And if you can't see the old Scribe stars anymore, the magic of the Scribes will no longer be in effect here, because without the stars, a celestial orb can't fall from the heavens and allow us to free ourselves, so. That is a dick, yeah, it's a dick and a half. It's unfortunate, but that's the way that it is, so. We got a page on the Accusers. I should probably work on getting a page for the Tempers eventually as well, but yeah, we'll work on that maybe. Tizo! Yeah, that's understandable given your history with him. What's going on, man? What did he say that upset you? I will beat him within an inch of his life if he said something to upset you. Well, it's fine that he's angry about it, but he should have given way to that anger, years ago, man. He's holding the grudge for a long time, considering he was denied liberation. There's more opportunities for that. And now he's basically screwed himself to almost never get a chance at liberation. Or only one from here on out. So. Sure, but that's what we do. If they're not worthy, then we have to deny them their freedom. That's what the book says the Nightwings do. So, and you wanted to help your friend go free, so. Well, I don't think you should feel that guilt, Tizo. It's just what happens with all of this. Sometimes we have to make difficult decisions, and it, leads to certain people having to stay down here. And Lendl wouldn't have given in to be a nicer person if he had gone free. He would have gone on continuing to be the asshole that he already is, so. There you go, that's better. I'm glad you came to me with this. It's good to know that I'm a trusted enough friend that you can give me such a secret. Sounds like a plan, Tizo. And that should be good, because pretty soon you're actually going to be going into play here for the next thing. I gotta be careful here, though, because I forget if the next case of banishment sickness happens during this cycle, or if it happens next time. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Oh god, who do I give the Ashen Coal to in this case? I guess I give it to Tizo instead of the Thorn Knot, because we're giving the prayer beads to Sir Gilman for this one. So, and I still gotta sell these eels to Ron the next time we see him. So, yeah, we'll give that to Tizo. I guess we won't need to use the Thorn Knot for now, but we'll try it out soon enough once we conduct here. Yeah, we gotta be careful here. I don't think you can get Banishment Sickness right before a Liberation, right? That would be a real dick move, because then you wouldn't be able to liberate someone who has the highest enlightenment, but if it happened to them, but still, yeah, we want to avoid that if possible. Bertrud's still low on the totem pole there in terms of her experience. She's the lowest besides Volfred, but that's okay. I might bring Volfred along anyway, actually, now that I think about it, because he really needs to keep moving with his experience in order to get to the next thing, so I might bring him along anyway. Let's see, you're at 6,500. I should probably bring Bertrud along as well, so I guess we're going to give her back the prayer beads, and maybe I'll give the luminous idol to Sir Gilman. And then Tizo and Ruki can hang out. They're still good on their experience totals. So, let's see. Yeah, they're still good on their experience totals. Okay, so Sir Gilman, give those back to Bertrude, because even though you make good use of them, she makes better use of them. So we'll give you the Luminous Idol so you can score, and then we'll let her score and score and score and score. So, but yeah, we'll bring Volford along so that he has a chance to keep working on his stuff. I really want to get Sturdy Sapling, basically, for him as soon as possible. We might be able to get it after the next right. It kind of depends on how much inspiration interacts with him. Maybe if the Titan Star that I want to turn on shows up in the next one, then it will, but I'm not sure yet. So. You get the Tizo as my child, but calm down. I will not calm down. Nobody hurts my boy. If the rights end, man, we need another way to get people out of the downside. Yeah, we don't know how we're going to do that just yet. I mean, they may be able to, like, build a... I think Ruki might have joked about it at one point, where he said, what are they going to do, build a staircase down here or something? I mean... I guess it's possible. It would probably take a long time, though. So, we have a page on the Accusers, so let's read it. The Accusers formed under Gol Golathanian. He's a big man. He values justice, loyalty, and steadfastness, all things that Lendl does not embody. Golathanian, he says that the Accusers take their name from one of his most accomplished legions, from his former military days. All among them, in fact, served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who held true to Mur and Golathanian to the end. The golden colors of their raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armor, is his claim. Ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and the strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. This one's pretty obvious. I don't think we have to elaborate on why Lendl doesn't embody any of that. Sandra, any thoughts? Nope. No more scribe trial left, so probably once Volfred's scribe trial shows up, she'll have another thought for us. So. Alright, but let's continue on our journey. We have 2 more rites that I want to do today so that we can be in good shape going towards the end game next week. I want to get the game over with, if possible. Now that we know that there aren't a lot of liberation rites left, I can say this for a certainty. I want to finish this game before Thanksgiving, and I think after this, if we do 2 more rites today, we should be able to finish it on Tuesday. So, Falcon Ron may be passing through here with a special offer, so I guess if you missed the things from before when he tried to crowd his way onto our black wagon, you could go there. Do I want something of value, or do I want to see what Ron has available? It's probably just those artifacts that I was talking about before, but it's not like we have anything else to spend our soul on, so... Unless the something valuable is Stardust. But it doesn't sound like a something valuable like Stardust. And last time we went to Barb Reef, we had a little bit less luck. So I'm gonna go to Ron and see what his special offer is. Sorry, Bertrude. Let's see if he'll even trade with me after I didn't put him on my wagon the last time. So... And we needed to go to Sharp Shoal anyway to get the little elaboration on it. An icy flow near the Isle of Kaelmer, sturdy enough for landing. Even once proud warm Knights of the Sea Dominion tend to avoid the cold here, especially when there's a blizzard happening. Fair enough. Ron, what's up? Sorry about the other day, we just didn't have enough room, but... Mint condition, huh? Oh, what do you got for me? A sealed talisman, no telling what it is for certain, though you sense its power. Much more once on display. He wants me to pay him 100 soul for this item. Surely, Falcon Ron would not attempt to sell you a talisman not worth its weight in soul. We don't have anything else to do with our soul, and I mean, we can buy Stardust, but we'll have enough. Trust me, we just got those eels, so we'll be fine. I'll hand over 100 soul. Why not? We didn't take you on the boat, but I'll give you 100 soul for whatever this is. Thanks, Ron. Now, what do you suppose he gave me? Oh, good, we even have time for vocation work. Fantastic. We also got the Astral Eye. Bearer has -3 hope. When dousing the adversary's pyre, bearer deals bonus damage. So this is actually nice if you didn't get the Luminous Idol or the Prayer Beads in your adventures there, if you have a bunch of plunging people, because -3 hope is literally a drop in the bucket. Like, it's not going to make any difference. Again, if you're banished, then the opponent's probably going to score anyway, so it's not really a big deal. And then if you don't have the Luminous Idol and the Prayer Beads, but you do have the Kerfang and you've been upgrading it, this is like a second Kerfang now. And I think it deals the same amount as the Kerfang when maxed out, plus 8. So, yeah, it's not bad. It's I don't know if it's worth 100 soul, but it's not bad. It's also not worth it on my particular playthrough, but you know, it's all good. All right, let me look at the Black Wagon before I mentor somebody. I'm probably just going to mentor Volfred, if I'm honest, because I think he has less than, let's see, he has 1,110 to the next rank, so if I mentor him, he'll definitely get to rank 3 in the next right. I could mentor Bertrude to get her to 6,080. Pameth is probably good for a while. Sir Gilman is probably good for a while. Let's see, so going forward here. Let's see here. 2 and 3. Yeah, I think I'm just going to mentor Volfred, honestly. I like where our enlightenment totals are for everybody else at the moment. It should allow us to liberate them in the order that I want to liberate them in. So, yeah, we'll just keep everybody where they are, and we'll mentor Volfred. Get him back closer to where he's supposed to be in terms of his right going. You love how there's an economy down here. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you were here when Ruki gave us his backstory previously, but the economy down here is actually the reason why he got in trouble, because he was trading with Ron and other, and Bertrude and other tenants of the downside, artifacts from up above in order to make money. So, and then they caught him doing that, and that's why he's down here now. So, yeah, there you go. It's interesting, though, that there's an economy even in a veritable prison, and also a veritable hell. So it's just interesting that it evolved anyway. So, all right, Volfred, let's see if we can compare points of view here. Sounds like a plan. Now, unfortunately, his enlightenment does not affect the private lesson experience total, but it does get him very close to rank 3, so he'll be able to get Sturdy Sapling very shortly after this, so I'm not too concerned about it. It'll be okay. Anyway, let's continue on our journey. Get to the Isle of Kaelmer, we'll fight the Withdrawn, and we'll see if that makes enough of a difference to push the Dissidents up to the next Liberation Rite. It might be difficult, though, because I've never fought them in a Liberation Rite, but we'll see what happens. You were here for that, but still, why do people need soul down here? I guess it's just a reminder of home. I mean, it has the symbol of the Commonwealth on it, if I recall correctly. So, I mean, I guess it's just a symbol of home. People, you know, cling on to whatever they can to remember where they came from, I suppose. You are a long way from home in one of the worst places imaginable, Messenger Imp in the Deathless Tempest, but he has a message about Jodario, so let's see how she's doing. Wow, they were going to reinstate her as captain. Well, that's interesting. In the First Veil, no less. An elite blood border platoon, shrouded in secrecy, other than that the famous results of its operations. The Commonwealth's veiled leaders always were surrounded by sentinels in similar garb. That's a pretty high-ranking position, especially considering they wanted to keep her off the streets with those horns, but yeah, she wasn't really keen on it. So, alright, sounds like a plan. Await. Is that all it says? Well, await her return. We'll see. Anyway. Yeah, I'm sure that they're all going to be very confused by the fact that she's just standing out there with giant bones protruding from her head. No, you're right. She is an inspiration to all of us, so. Yeah, I'm fired up, too. I'm glad that she's doing all right, so. That's what I'm hoping, Volfred. The rest of her message may have been some poor words directed towards you, Pamitha, so it might be better that they were erased. Anyway. But yeah, we gained +1 hope for the next stripe because we liberated her, so. You always get that bonus to everybody, all of your companions, when you liberate somebody for, I think it's 2 rights down the road, basically, after. So. It helps. Doesn't help much, but it helps. It's a nice gesture, I suppose. Honestly, I'm just glad that she's doing all right, that's all. So, oh, downside diseases, probably because we just bought some stuff from Ron. Speaking of which, let's see if he's got anything else on sale. Well, I'm sure you did, because, frankly, we just gave you 100 soul, so. They didn't fly off the shelf, did they? What do you got? So yeah, these 3 artifacts would have been available earlier in the last rite if you had taken him on board your ship on your black wagon, but you would have had -5 glory for the entire rite, and we would have lost if we had -5 glory for the entire rite, so no thank you. But these are cursed talismans, the Black Hoof, the Black Heart, and the Black Claw. So these are interesting, I guess. The Black Hoof gives you 100% extra stamina, but you can't grasp the orb, so it's good for attackers, I suppose. Black Heart, after getting banished, the bearer either returns with unlimited stamina or is a fast-moving howler. It's a gambling item. I'm not really big on it because it's kind of RNG reliant. And the Black Claw. The bearer's aura remains while grasping the orb, but it cannot be cast. Now, you would think this one would be really good, because, especially for someone like Jodariel or anybody with a large amount of presence, because then she could grab the orb and still use her aura. But it says that the bearer's aura remains, but it doesn't tell you by how much. When you grab the orb with the Black Claw in your hands, it only gives you 50% of your normal aura. That would have been pertinent information to know before purchasing this, which is why I'm telling you this now, because it's not worth it at all. If they have, let's say, Jodariel's 30 presence or so, they only have 15 with this on, which is not enough to protect her from other people, because even most nomads have more than 15 presence. So I guess if you need another edge against the Pyre Hearts, but if you need another edge against the Pyre Hearts, I'm not sure if I can really help you. So, and they are not completely healthy. I think if I remember correctly, I don't think it's like Golden Sun cursed artifacts. I think you can unequip them, but I think they have a permanent effect on your hope or something. I forget. But really the main thing that you want out of him in this particular jaunt is the Flame Leech if you really want to get anything from him. Because the Flame Leech is basically a better Righteous Flame. The Righteous Flame you could upgrade to give you a fixed percentage or a fixed amount of Pyre back, but the Flame Leech, it gives you back 50% of the damage that you deal. So if you don't have the prayer beads for Bertrude, this is probably her best talisman because she'll deal 30 damage and then give you 15 of that back. So yeah, self-sustain and lifesteal in this game is really good, especially with Bertrude and all the hexes that she's got. So that's a worthwhile talisman, but I'm not really keen on it because we've got other things that I can stick in those slots instead. So let's get back most of our money that we just spent on the Astral Eye. I'll hold on to it for now, but I really just want the Stardust and maybe some of these serums. So you're welcome. The quickness one is good. He's got 2 hope ones. We don't need those. I'll take the presence ones though. So I'll take that. And I'll take, this is the quickness one, right? Yeah, that's the hope one. I'll take this. Might want these for liberation rites later. So, and then let's sell him back the Astral Eye because I am a dickhead. Here you go. I kind of wanted to see if he had any additional dialogue for taking that, but unfortunately he does not. It's okay. I just wanted to see if, because I just bought it from him and I sold it back to him, he'd be like, hey guys, I just gave this to you for a deal. What do you mean you're selling it back to me? But no, unfortunately not. So, it's okay. Alright, let's keep raising the Thorn Knot. See where we can get with it. Triesta's is still pretty good, I think. I'm not sure if we'll be able to max it out, to be honest, considering there's, only a few rights left, but, well, we'll work on the Thorn Knot instead for now, and then if we get that maxed out or close to maxed out, then we'll start working on Triesta's, I think. So, but the +3 from that and the 50% chance of coming back is good enough, honestly. So, and I could sell Haoub's Wing for an extra 131 soul, but we don't really need the money at the moment, so I'll just hold on to this in case we ever need it. Sure, keep telling yourself that, Ron. Forged Findings as well. So we got 2 pages to read before we commence this rite with the Withdrawn, so let's go do that, shall we? Alright, so downside diseases is first. Love how you have more than enough knowledge to make seeing the higher difficulties worth it. Yeah, well, actually, and here's the thing, though, about those cursed artifacts, is I think they're available on True Nightwing difficulty. Like, I think Ron has all the talismans available right away, and that's the justification for the bullshit difficulty of that mode. You can just buy as many talismans as you want right from the start. So, I guess in a way it gives you an edge, but if you want my personal opinion, it doesn't give you enough of an edge for how much bullshit you go through. That being said, True Nightwing difficulty is the optimal difficulty for a speedrun. Why? Well, think about it for a minute. You want to play the game as fast as possible, and the AI is programmed to score and defeat you as quickly as possible. So yeah, the speedrun for this game is an all-lose run. You lose every right in order to finish the game as quickly as possible. I think it's like 2 hours now or something, so it's not too bad. The cursed artifacts seem really viable on the higher difficulties. They can be in certain situations. Yeah, I could see them being pretty viable on the higher difficulties, but I don't know. I usually, by this point in the game, I usually have other stuff that's better, but that's just my opinion. You can make use of them if you want. It's up to you. I can't tell you how to play the game. I can only tell you how I'm going to play it. Ailments in the downside often give no warning when they strike, like banishment sickness. Those who keep moving and make no attempt to settle, they reduce their risks, but don't completely negate them. The afflictions come in multiple varieties. In the bogs of flagging hands, a pallor tends to... Pallor? Don't really know how to pronounce that one. There's your SAT word for the day. Excuse me. Tends to sink into the skin and then into the mind. The nauseating Sea of Solace north of there is difficult for some to tolerate, like headwind. Very hot or very cold environs bring their own specific side effects. My coat is not as lustrous now. My fangs are long. Like all aspects of the downside, all of these ailments share a purpose, to test your body, mind, and spirit. They only appear to harm. Accept them, surpass them, move on. Yeah, words befitting someone as gruff as I imagine Jamu or Many was. Foraged findings. That's true, you do still finish the game in an all-lose playthrough, so it's an interesting bit of speedrunning knowledge, yep. Yeah, because there's no lose condition, you can still finish the game even if you lose every right, so. They do call you out on it, though. Volfred, I think in particular, after a certain number of liberation rights that you lose, asks if you're doing it on purpose. So, that sucks, but anyway. Mothite, thank you for following. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. We're reading a little bit of information from Jamu or Many before we do our next rite, and then we'll be going to the fourth liberation rite. So, let's read about foraged findings. There's a simple pleasure to be found in foraging about this place. Easy for a cur to say, of course. Though barren looking to the naked eye, the downside has its share of semi-hidden treasures waiting to be found. It was a nose for treasure, after all, which drew us here. Jamu, I think, in specific there. So, certain types of artifacts found in this place would fetch a reasonable summoned soul, whether because they shine with inner light or due to other special properties. I have observed that stardust, freshly fallen from the heavens, sometimes glimmers in the afternoons. I've not found a use for it as yet, although because it brings me faith, perhaps I have indeed. And there you go. So there was stardust previous to this. It just, they didn't really know its purpose in enhancing the strength of the talismans, but, well, we found a purpose for it, so. Alright, let's commence the rite and see how badly the withdrawn want to murder me. I think on this battlefield they're kind of rough, if I recall correctly, because of the imps moving around, but we'll see. I think this is just a radiant conversation because we already did the win-lose potential risk with Umilda. So sometimes after you've exhausted all potential dialogue, they'll just have little radiant conversations before the thing happens. That is the Titan Star that I was actually looking for. Shaxx 6 Shoulders. That's what he looked like in life. He looks a little worse for wear in death. He's the one that was at the Cairn of Ha'ub, as you may recall, as a skeleton. As for this one, it's kind of nice, actually. I like it because of what it does. It has a kind of detrimental effect. If you banish every single one of your adversaries, they all pop back immediately. But in exchange for that detriment,
Shaxx 6 Shoulders.
Just like the Astroborn, you get 10% extra enlightenment out of it. So I like this one because it gives you so much more enlightenment than the other ones. Like, the other ones are 3%, and that's fine, like, whatever, but yeah, this one I particularly prefer, especially in tandem with Limbless Arazek, because they already come back faster than usual, so why not just double down on that? If it gets me 10% more enlightenment, I'm down. So off we go. Yeah, they're being eclipsed. Like, you can see them faintly beneath some of the Titan stars, but they're not shining very strong, so. This is not a good situation. No, it's definitely not. But, well, we'll see what we can do about it, I suppose.
Good evening there, you exiles of the Nightwings.
Good evening, voice man. Is it snowing up there, too?
Once more, unto the Isle of Kilmer.
Yeah, I don't like it here very much. Nothing against the imps, just not a fan of a skeleton overseeing me.
Reduce their pyre to a smolder and step closer to freedom.
I would think you wouldn't want me to do that, considering the fact that you visited me in my sleep to gloat about the fact that I'm not going to succeed. But sure, I'll do the best I can. I see that your faith hasn't been totally shaken there, Umilda. Well, let's see what we can do against her anyway. Yeah, so she still has the frozen soul. She has 3 crones, which is a little scary, but we'll do what we can about it. Let's see, frozen soul. And they have twilight shards, which allows them to fling the orb and deal bonus damage. And that's scary because they have both of the hexes as well, but we'll make it work. It's fine. Oh, I think she actually has the... Yeah, she has Vital Pounce, so we'll have to be careful of that too. Alright then, we'll see what we can do. So we wanted Sir Gilman, Volfred, and Bertrude for this one. I don't know if Bertrude's the best choice considering she cast a hex on Umilda, but I mean, if I want to keep safe from the hexes, she might actually be a pretty significant boon. So, Volfred, you're up in the center again.
Volfred.
But yeah, we only have 80 Pyre to work with, and that's really sketchy, but we'll see what we can do about it. It's fine. Sir Gilman, I might actually have you try to get the orb in certain situations, because it might be better to just have you run for it and grab it and then give it to Bertrude so she can prayer beads us to victory. So, we'll see what we can do. But anyway, yeah, we'll take you in.
Sir Gilman.
And I mean, if we lose this one, I guess it's not a really big deal. It's just that we'll be facing the Withdrawn immediately again after this, because they are basically guaranteed to go to the Liberation right after this. So, we're just trying to do this to maybe get the Dissidents a chance at freedom, so... Why the fuck is my Pyre so low? So that's a combination of one of the Titan Stars reducing it by 30, and the Frozen Soul that Umilda has equipped, reducing it by an additional 20. So we got the Ashen Coal up a little bit to help it get back closer, but we're not quite at maximum, at 100 again, so yeah. That's why I like the Ashen Coal for my defensive units, though, because it really helps out in certain situations like this one. So.
It is done.
Well, pretty soon you'll have an opportunity to run circles around Umilda again, potentially. We'll see what happens. Alright, Volfred, first things first, to get that sapling out there. There we go. I hate it here, by the way. In case it wasn't obvious before, I hate it here because there are so many frame skips, it's ridiculous. But we'll do the best we can with the frame skips anyway. Alright, so let's get... have Sir Gilman banish 5 adversaries. I mean, I could probably do that across the whole thing, but... Anyway, I'm gone! She sure is. And with the prayer beads, she's fucking busted, dude! No, actually. I think you're supposed to get this conversation before you'd have the risk thing happen, but I've always had it happen afterwards. Probably because there's potential that you'll never have the chance to curse Umilda if you only fight them twice. So. I mean, she seeks enlightenment, but not the kind that you're concerned about. Sure. Oh, this is not a good formation for me. Alright, get in there quickly so that we can strengthen, embolden the sapling, make it better. Banish 5 adversaries for 20 soul. I don't know if I really want that, so... Instead, I'm gonna do this! Was it? Because it was a pretty good exchange for me.
The night wing shall prevail at this rate.
I hope you're right. I'll take that, thank you. And who am I gonna run through? I guess I'm gonna go this way. Well, okay. Okay. I still got in. Nice and slippery. Slippery as an eel, Sir Gilman. But yeah, placing Volfred right near his sapling is a really solid strategy in most cases, because then he can increase its aura size, and it makes it much easier for you to go and grab your own, well, grab the orb. So. And again, Bertrude with prayer beads is fucking atrocious. It's one of the best offensive setups in the game. It's why I was so, like, adamant about, oh my god, we actually got it, you know? So... am I gonna... Okay. Okay, let me get out of there. Sir Gilman, why don't you take it? Luminous Idol up? There we go. Perfect. Run this way. Okay, I dropped it again. Can I get you? I can, but okay, I didn't die. Good. Okay. In I go. Nice. Didn't banish 5 adversaries, but we got them. Noxalis.
Shall simply smite them down next time.
That's a bit of a turnaround from this first, what you were saying initially, isn't it?
It's complete.
He reveals his true colors. I'm sure I won't, Umilda, because if we ever see you again, it'll be too soon.
Is there greater knowledge to be gained?
Nice, 1145 for Sir Gilman, not bad. He's making his way, as is Volfred. 1290 on his enlightenment for this one. He might get to rank 4 if he participates in the Liberation Rite, actually, which is nuts considering we just got him. Well, good, glad to hear it. But this is where we get the big upgrade for him. Let's grab Sturdy Sapling. Now he's basically battle ready for the remainder of the game. He shouldn't have too many problems participating after this because his sapling grows so quickly now. So. And Bertrude's working her way up pretty good herself. She's only got 2575 to be maxed out. We should be able to get her there by the end game. It might be a little tricky, but we should be able to get her there. She really has what she needs already, though, to be honest. Anything else I get will just be bonus. So, I do have one question. What happens now that the True Nightwings are a thing and the rites may be ending? Well, we have to deal with the potential possibility that they will show up in a Liberation Rite at some point. Hasn't happened yet, but I haven't seen who's available to us in the Liberation Rite after this, especially since we just knocked off our number 2 rivals, so we'll see. And, well, they will definitely throw a monkey wrench into things if they participate in a Liberation Rite, that's for sure. Because, I mean, you saw how thoroughly Oralek screwed us over last time. Yeah, it might be a bit of a slaughter. So. And yeah, like we saw in Volfred's Planner, we can now actually see the Star of Solium. Even though the Titan stars are starting to crowd him out, he's still burning brighter than the rest. Not for long, though, because look at how red the rest of the sky's getting. I mean, it's pretty okay up there, but the rest of these stars, not really seeing much of a good thing. Yeah, the Dissidents are, in fact, up there now that we knocked off the Withdrawn, because they knocked all the way down here. Very good, very good. So, you know what I kind of want to do, and it's really silly? I kind of want to just completely fuck over Lendl and the Withdrawn and just get the Pyre Hearts up here, so the Dissidents, the Chastity, and the Pyre Hearts to like be the next 3 that we fight, because we're fighting the Dissidents now, but I mean the Chastity, that's fine. We haven't seen Manly since like the first cycle, but I kind of want to get the Pyre Hearts up here if we can, so I'll try to knock these 2 off and get them up further. Maybe I'll even lose to the Pyre Hearts just to give them extra favor. I don't know, we'll see. Tudium, the 8th of 12th moon, 857 AS. Here we go again. Another opportunity to liberate one of our own. Volfred suggests that the plan in the Commonwealth has hit a few snags. His agents need all the help they can get over there. Then let's help them, shall we? But Barker is something we have to deal with first, so let's go do that. Oralek kind of wants out. I feel like he might actually start slaughtering people literally to get a chance at a liberation right. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't come to that, but, well, it depends on how many bounds his treachery knows. They may know no bounds at some point. We'll see what happens, so. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but again, we still have several chances. Not enough to get us all out of here, but several, nonetheless. And again, this doesn't change what I said about the most peaceful ending for the revolution. As long as you liberate 6 exiles, you get the most peaceful ending. That being said, that's 6 out of a very limited number of liberations, so you still need to win most of the liberation rights in order to get the best ending to the revolution anyway. So, as for the plan, it's up at 63% now, so I hope it doesn't come to that, but yeah. Well, they do have a lot of work to do when they go back there, so fair enough. And this is the other thing that I kind of didn't mention about the game in terms of a mechanical thing. You can only send the 3 exiles that have the most enlightenment to liberation, which means you might be throwing away some of your best party members as a result of that. And honestly, I didn't like that at first, but I kind of dig it in a way, because it forces you to spread out your experience with all of your other members of your party, so I don't know, I kind of dig it. It's kind of interesting. Yep, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, considering how few rights are left, it'd probably be a bit of a fool's errand to try to increase our numbers at this point, so. Yeah, thanks for the pep talk, by the way. Fair enough. Alright, someone wants to see me in the Black Wagon. There's a page on Shaq's 6 shoulders. We'll get all the other pages for the Titans that I haven't turned on a little later, by the way, probably in the finale episode, so. Sir Gilman has something on his mind. Again. You alright there, friend? Oh, what are you hunting for? Okay, fair enough. And who are you trying to track down? You trying to track down Sir Deluge? Is that what you're doing? Oh, you're trying to track down Ruki. This is another scene that I almost never get, because by this point in time, Ruki is usually liberated for me, so... I'm glad these two are getting along, though. I mean, you're faster than him, technically speaking. He has to kick up his speed in order to get to you. You're just at 30 quickness right away, but... Fair enough. I mean, technically I'd call it a tail, but fair enough. That sounds like it would be good for him, but I don't know if his honor will allow him to do that. Yeah. Oh boy. There are 8 billion worms in the Commonwealth. Great. Yeah, technically speaking, you've already become exemplar, Sir Gilman. You're better off than most of them, because not only did you volunteer for exile of your own accord after living through a major battle, mind you, you've also survived your entire exile down here, and you joined the Nightwings, which is far more than most of your kind can say. I'm not trying to backtalk your kind, I'm just saying most of them don't live to this ripe young age that you're at. Yes, I know it's ripe old age, but he's not old, so... Fair enough. I'm glad that Ruki's gotten better as a result of Sir Gilman's presence. Oh, man. You guys do that. I've still got a book to read, and we got to get some shut-eye before we go to the Liberation Rite anyway, so... Probably not, but I wonder if Jamur and Under King Orez were of this sort of kinship. I mean, they're exemplary in what they're doing here. This is what the scribes would have wanted, basically, that sort of kinship. So, I'm down for it. Alright, we got a page on Shaq's 6 shoulders. Let's read it, shall we? Much can be learned of bravery from the tale of Haub the Swallow, the imp who alone felled the muscular and altogether terrifying bone titan, called Shaq's 6 shoulders. 6 shoulders sat listless, his appalling frame refusing to be budged. None dared approach the withered fiend, whose plague had spread half across the valley floor. Undeterred, Haub sprang into action, because he's a native of the downside. Whilst Weebut watched, the little one, he flew into the gaping maw of Shax and lodged himself inside the monster's throat. Shax then began to cough and cough and cough, until the valley shook. 6 shoulders breathed his last and fell. His putrid flesh then fizzled and was gone. Yet our imp friend remained. Damn, that's metal as fuck, Haub. Holy shit. Choked the fucking life out of him with your body. Jesus. I mean, we knew that they were metal as fuck already because of what they did to Sandra, but holy hell. Anyway, Sandra's got nothing new to say, so we'll just check and see how she's doing. Alright, so in terms of enlightenment... Let's see, 71, 65, you're at way too low, 36, 80, 57, so 57, 36, 65, 71, 62, 67, okay, we're still good, I think. Let's see here, yeah, we're still good, okay, fair enough. I just wanted to make sure that, oh, I should also probably make sure that I have the talismans on the people that are going to need them next, so let's put them on them. Shall we? I'll put the Thorn Knot back on Tizo because I'm he's the only one I'm going to use it with, basically. So, and actually, with the inspiration that he has, he might be able to get to... if we have him participate in 2 more rights, I think he's maxed out, so that's nice. It's very useful. Let's see here. Volfred, I'm going to keep you in. I probably should keep Bertrude in. I might have Sir Gilman go along for this one just because he works well with Ruki, but then again, Hamitha hasn't gone along for a little bit, so maybe I'll have her go, and like Volfred, Hamitha, and Ruki, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. That's the plan anyway, but we'll see what happens. So, alright, we've rested up, and we will move along before I have to answer my father's phone for him. Alright, up to the Fall of Solium. Get out of this thunderstorm that's happening in the middle of the snowstorm. Thunder snow? Oh, look, another imp. Yeah, we'll leave him to his own devices. He's not causing anybody any trouble. So, Tizo will gain favor if we land at the Emperor's Fall, and Volfred will gain favor here. So I think I'm going to go do that because, again, we want to keep Volfred moving up and up with his experience totals. So, what's going on, Volfred? Well, yeah, that's potentially a plan. I mean, if we keep using you in the rights, you'll end up with enough experience and enlightenment to maybe even be a candidate. So, okay, well, fair enough. We will see what happens. I mean, we're at a pretty sure footing anyway with Jodariel up there in Headwind, but we'll make it work. Yeah, but I mean, your counsel is wise nonetheless. You've been here longer than we have, so... I don't know about that part. I might be free of any burden of doubt that I had about, you know, all of the things that have happened in terms of my crime and coming down here, but true freedom to, well, I might even have true freedom according to your definition, but freedom up there, it's debatable. Me specifically, because I'm not conducting rights, so. As for conducting rights, Sandra is blaspheming, but also there's a scribe trial available, so let's see what she's blaspheming about. Excuse me. What is on your mind, Sandra? Apologies for burping in your face as soon as I got here. That's not so good. I know you did. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm going to get them their freedom, but I still think that it's a good idea to come in here and see what you're up to. The Herald? So, you mean the voice? I could, but... I mean, I don't know about that part. He seems to be a little bit of a bell end himself, but... What do you mean? Listen, it's fine. I know you don't know what else to do, but I'll sit here with you in silence if that's what you want, that's all. It's nothing. You're a friend at this point. Come on now. It's what friends do, Sandra. I'm not pitying you. I'm just here being your friend. That's it. So, I insist not. I know that you have other things to do, but like blaspheming and pondering your endless existence, but I might come check on you anyway, just because. Anyway, you've got a scribe trial available for me, don't you? You do have limitless time, so we'll see what we can do with that. Okay, so Volfred's trial is a little tricky, honestly, because he's not exactly the most offensive unit. I'm going to give him the Moon Crest to try to work this over, but it might be a couple of tries before we get it. The Sturdy Sapling might help out with it and keeping the ball away from the opponents, but once he gets the ball, he still has to get to the goal, you know, so I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see. Yeah, that guy. I suppose he's spoken to you before. He was a reader at one point, so he could speak to Sandra. So, Volfred, it is your turn, actually, yes, so let's see what you can do. And yeah, really that's one of the big problems with Volfred in a 1 versus 3 situation. It seems silly, but his lack of a jumping ability means you can't just hide behind cover and then jump to the pyre like you could previously, so yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but he's actually a decent scorer, though, if you can get him to the goal. He has 25 glory, so it's not bad, but I usually, like I said with Manly before, I usually don't let Volfred go past half field because he doesn't need to be there. He needs to be defending my goal. So. Ah, good, you already remember her, so that's fair. Don't have to do the introductions. Alright, Volfred, you and me. Let's see what we've got. Another sap, a nomad, and a demon. Alright then. Let's throw this thing. I will take this. Can I shoot from here? Oh my god, they're encroaching on me. Yeah, about that. How's your shooting there, Volfred? Yeah, it's not great. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a... Okay, I'm not gonna give myself a little bit of a defensive advantage because I can't. Yeah, this one's tricky. If you don't complete this one, it's probably okay, to be honest. Because, well, the reward really doesn't help Wilfred all that much with what you normally do with him, so... But yeah, see how the AI doesn't really know what to do in situations like this? Because you have the aura there? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Of course, that could happen too, where that we just lose it all, but you know, it's okay. Alright, 1, 2, go quick before she lunges. I don't know if it's a she, but there you go. So try to take advantage of any opportunities that they present you by, like, you know, being dumb and banishing themselves, that sort of thing. Okay. Well, oh, she used the aura boost that you get when you stand there to help out. There we go. I'll take this. Oop, maybe I won't. Alright, so now before they all get over here, especially the Nomad is the big problem because he's quick enough to actually run into you like that, so, yeah. Where do you think you're going, son? I'll take this. Thank you. Oh my god, I got stuck on the book page. That's not good. Ah, almost blinked into him. That's okay. He's gone after this one, and ideally you want the Nomad to score, because the other two are very slow-moving, so they'll have a hard time scoring if you, I'm just gonna creep into him, or not, because I have the ball now. Whoa! Ooh, nice. But yeah, they take a really long time to come back, the demon and the sap, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to make a move because, well, you don't have to deal with all of them at once. So. But it's a little bit of standing around, honestly, and waiting until they are stupid and run into the aura themselves. Ooh, nice. That's actually helpful. I should be able to get in before they get in because they ran into me and I ran into them. Okay, goodbye. This one's actually kind of a bitch. You have so little to work with. That's true. But we made it work. Noxalis. Again, you basically want to bait the Nomad into scoring if possible, because he only deals 20 to your Pyre, you have 100 Pyre to work with, and you only need to score 3 times. So if he scores 3 times, you go down to 40 Pyre, but you win. And as long as you banish the demon and the sap, you're in good shape. It's a bit of a puzzle, so, you know. Flattery will get you nowhere unless you're the reader. And you are a reader, but not my reader. Alright then. Kind of see how high-level play works. Yeah, it's interesting to kind of see advanced strategies evolve over the course of the game once you get access to all the different classes, so... Tell me what you think advanced level play looks like, and I will tell you whether you're close or not. By the way, speaking of advanced level play, I mentioned when we played Custom Robo that I would have liked to have seen Custom Robo at EVO, or a competitive scene. This is another game that I wish I saw at a competitive scene. I think it would have been really interesting. Supergiant specifically went on records by saying they didn't want online servers for the game because it would have been too great of an expense for them to maintain, which is understandable. They were starting to work on pre-development for Hades pretty much once this game shipped out the door, so they were more concerned with that. And I'll talk about Supergiant's opinion on this game when we get to the credits as well, because it's interesting in a sad way, honestly, but I'll talk about it in a little while. She has not changed. I could even tell that just from talking to her over the course of the time I've been with her. But she did leave you something. Lose Bow. Bow. It's a rank 10 talisman. It gives him 50% farther blink ability, so he can move a lot farther with his blink now if you equip him with this. It even lets him double the length of his blink if you get it to rank 20. I'm usually not a big fan of this one, honestly, because letting him blink further, I mean, I never have him go across half field anyway, so having him blink further usually doesn't avail me of anything. So it's basically just a thing you can sell. So that's what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, we have to seek the Harp Scribe's favor, so let's go do that with Volfred, now that he has completed his post-flight inspection and his Scribe Trial. The Scribe Trials are complete, by the way, now. There are no more over the course of the whole game, so... And the Emperor's Ascent is a gap through the nameless lower summits beneath Mount Elodiel. Throughout his youth, the prideful Emperor Mur misunderstood how close he came to ruin. Yeah, fair enough. Well, it was the final nail in the coffin, at least if my opinion on the game is to be believed, so... Fair enough. We'll see what we can do with the time we have left. And we'll see if Triesta gave us any favor. She did. She gave him +1 quickness. Thanks. That's real useful. No, it's fine. I'll take it. Rush to the orb, slowly making sure to push the orb further and further, or rushing the orb and blitzing a score. You see a lot of potential for offensive play, even with your defensive tools. Yeah, and that's why I kind of like running 1 defense 2 offense in most of my my loadouts for the rights here, is because it basically ends up being like that. You basically have your defender who can get to the orb and banish people who are trying to blitz it, and then you can give it to your offensive units who can run circles around the other 2 that are left. So that's the plan anyway, that usually ends up happening. Alright, I gotta double check on our enlightenment totals, because if I give 1,000 to the wrong person here, we might be a little screwed. Let's see. I could give it to Tizo. Let's see. Because he hasn't really gotten to move in a little bit, so it might not be a bad idea to give it to him. I mean, I could give it to Volfred too, but he wouldn't get to rank 4 from it, so I don't know if it's really worth it. And I could give it to Bertrude as well, and she would be... Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to Tizo, actually, because he's... getting him closer to the end, and actually if I do that with him, he might get enough enlightenment from 1 singular right after this to max him out with the enlightenment that he has left. But I might give him 1 more sit-out so that he can get a little more enlightenment, just to be sure of it, but we'll see. And yeah, that won't push him over the edge, I don't think. Yeah, definitely not for you. And you have 57. Okay. Yeah, so we'll mentor Tizo. Let's see what Tizo thinks of the book. He's seen it for the longest, so... And I mean, I could have gotten the other global quickness bonus if I really wanted to, but yeah, it's fine. We'll help Tizo out with the book's understanding. What do you think, Tizo? Want to study the book together? Cool, let's do it. I don't know if that's the proper subject to be discussing with Tizo, because he just had a little bit of a run-in with the accusers that he saw as a bit of a problem, but, well, fair enough. Alright, so now he's up at quite a bit of enlightenment. I think he's at like 7,000-ish, so. I mean, as long as you're here, Tizo, I'm glad for it. Every right will be a good one. Yeah, 7230 now, so he's actually pretty high up there. But that's okay. I think it's okay. Let me double check our enlightenment to make sure that I can still... Well, I mean, really it doesn't matter. I want to free a certain person here, but either one of them can go eventually here, and I'm going to keep my best scorers for last in terms of the liberations, so... Like, there are 2 people on our team who are just definitively the best scorers among us, and there are 2 who are still good scorers, but not as good as those other 2, so we'll be trying to keep our offensive potential for as long as possible. At the Cistern, Pamitha will gain favor, or Sir Gilman will gain favor. I'm probably going to give it to Pamitha, actually. So, because she'll probably come along for this, right? So let's do that. Let's hop down, which is not really something that I can advise normally, because normally you hop down there and you well, have what happened to Orlac happen to you, but, you know. But yeah, definitely would have loved to have seen this game in a competitive scene. I think it would have been really interesting to watch. Because I personally find a lot of the matches very entertaining, whether you're playing or watching, which is not normal for me, because normally I don't like watching stuff like this, but in this particular case, I do. So you do get into a lot of bad situations, especially when your sisters are around. Well, there's only one way to find out. And what favor did Under King Orez give her? +3 glory! Ooh, that's a really good one, actually. She'll do 26 damage to the Pyre now when she plunges with Triestas, so that should come in very handy with ending this quickly. She isn't at a full advantage because the dissidents can jump, and they can jump a lot, especially if they have cloud jump, but, well, we'll get there. Alright, we're back, Celeste. Back so soon. Yes. And by the way, I mentioned it before that, yeah, depending on the season, we'll either have lots of rights or fewer rights. That was bullshit. I was lying because I didn't want to tell you what was happening in the plot. I think it is correct that there are less rights as the year draws to a close, but in this particular case, it wasn't because the year drew to a close, it was because of everyone's treachery causing the rights to just permanently end prematurely. So, yeah, in case anyone wasn't clear on that, that was a lie. I lied to all of you. How can you ever trust me again? Anyway. I mean, I suppose he has to, doesn't he? Or else he wouldn't be able to make it through the Scribe's Gate? Alright then. He does. I guess you got to elaborate on your decision, Volfred. Yeah, and I don't know if that's going to work out for any of us. Well, yes and no. We aren't divided. He's divided, so. But to be fair, we are seeking penance for it, so. And there you go. He brought it all full circle anyway. Alright, well, we made it through. Thanks, Celeste. Will do. Well, that's true, because whenever the Liberation Rite comes around, you guys get to see each other for a brief moment, and then you leave again. Oh, boy. That's a brave man right there, considering he blasphemed at the door to the gods. But then again, what is a little bit of foolhardiness in the face of someone that you love? That's the impression that I get between Tariq and Celeste, anyways, that they have a little bit of a thing for each other. Probably more on Tariq's side than on Celeste's side, but I don't know. Maybe she'll reciprocate eventually. We'll see. It leaves me deep in thought about it, and also deep in thought about how much it would have hurt when Oralek fell off this fucking place. But maybe I shouldn't speak his name because it might make him stronger. Anyway. Volfred, you're in here. Hello. What's on your mind? Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself, all things considered. Yeah, you guys were a little bit lower in number previously. We've got quite a motley crew going here. Yeah, fair enough. Oh yeah, I think this is the part where you get a little bit more history on the former Nightwings, including Oralek. So, I might get that in a second. Holy hell, Etrian Odyssey is killing you. You have to keep diverting SP into exploration skills because you need things, but you can't use them for battle skills then, right? So, oh boy. Sounds like a plan, Volfred. I could use a little backstory on people. Well, actually, yeah, we haven't heard anything hardly on Brighton. He's basically been the person that we know the least about. We know the most of the brunt of the story with Orisa and Oralek, but not Brighton. Who is this guy? He was the one that was liberated in your first liberation, right? But oh. Well, what do you mean? Oh, okay, so he wasn't someone I would have known about on the outside, so how would I know him? Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, he must have been their reader, because they replaced him with you, and you're also a reader, so that's the conclusion I came to. That's mysterious. I think I see what you're saying. So you're telling me... Yeah, so Brighton was the former reader of the Nightwings before Volfred came along. And after he was liberated, he became the voice. You know the voice man that we've been talking to this entire game? Yeah, that was Brighton. He was the one that was liberated before all of this, and he has taken that mantle since. It's him. He's Brighton. Although he's no longer goes by that name in order to keep himself in secrecy because they can't know, the common folk can't know that the exiles can be liberated. He himself is Archjustice Androboles IX. This is a name that we've come to know a little bit over the course of the game as the head figure in the Commonwealth. He's the 9th iteration of him. The Grand Judge and figurehead under whose watch the Commonwealth is governed in this day. He's the closest thing that you'll get to a president in the Commonwealth. So, more of a religious president than anything else, though. Religious figure, like the Pope, I guess. Those who violate the law of the Commonwealth face sentencing by the appointed Archjustice, which means he's also overseen the exile of most of the major characters we've met over the course of the game. Not very good of you, Brighton, considering you came from here. So, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they use it to hide their identities, because if they were to show their faces, some people might remember them as the exiles that were thrown down here. And again, we had no knowledge that freedom was even possible from exile before we came down here, so I guess at least they kept that secret, because it benefited them. Powerless to stop the plan? Probably. Well, he knows we have all the power here. He knows that if we follow the traditions of the scribes, we can potentially threaten everything that they've built up there. So. But yeah, I always like this little reveal, because he's not necessarily someone that it's like, oh wow, you know, he gets a big reveal all of a sudden, but it's interesting that they kind of come full circle to show you, yes, so everybody that we've mentioned, they all have major roles to play here. Including Orisa, even though her major role happened long ago. EO has this nifty rest option that resets your spent SP, but it also costs 2 levels to do. Oh, yeah, I could see how that would be a bit of a problem. As for Orisa, well, we pretty much got the gist of it from that. I mean, I would be pretty quick to judge her solely by her actions. She seems like a monster. But let's hear why she was a monster. Really? What did she do? Oh. Okay, well, fair enough. I think I see where this is going, yeah. So her father turned into an abuser and she killed him, right? She took his hammer that he used to smith armor and she beat his face into tomato paste with it. Great. Well, I can't say I knew her, but that is a terrible upbringing. And I'm assuming that never left her because she was crazy enough to try to throw Oralek from the cliff and jump into the Shimmer Pool herself without being anointed. What was her chief motive? Oh. Yeah, I could see how that would be a bit of a problem, yeah. Because she wanted to destroy the Commonwealth so that no one ever had to blacksmith again. So she didn't do it to Oralek for any particular reason. Yeah, it wasn't a personal thing or a vendetta against him. It was just desperation that did it. And her own mind being as mad as it was, just leaving her and forcing her into it. It's possible that she felt like her crime could not be forgiven, and that's why she drowned herself in the Shimmer Pool by not being anointed and jumping in, but that's a hell of a way to go, man. Well, I hope so. Hopefully she's found more peace than she had in life, because Jesus fuck. Yeah, well, there's one more name, and it's the name that we don't really want to talk about, but Oralek. What's with this guy? And who is he before he became the monster he is now? I mean, he was a monster on the battlefield, but nowhere else. Yeah, that's understandable. I was in much the same way. And yeah, in case it wasn't clear from the blurb and me talking about it before, Oralek was the chief physician of the Commonwealth before he was sent down here. We don't know why he was sent down here yet, but we'll find out eventually. Yeah, well, that's understandable. War is hell, so... Actually, that's why he ended up down here, because he tried to negotiate a peace treaty, and I'm assuming he went around the Commonwealth's normal, natural way of doing things to try to do that. And he refused to come back to the front. Yeah, again, I really like the development that they give to a lot of the characters in this game, even if some of their development happens off-screen or even before we even got here, because it makes a lot of the characters feel fleshed out and sympathetic. Like, even in Oralek's case, he's a monster, and what he's doing is treacherous to the extreme. But in a way, I kind of understand. He's trying to do all of this to end the cycle of the rites because it caused all of the pain that has ever happened in his life. In a way, he's repeating his mistakes, but, you know, sometimes that happens with people. Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, again, this is why he wanted to be liberated, is because he felt like, okay, if I take on a high-ranking position in the Commonwealth, which they have to give me because I was the chief physician and I have to go higher than that, I might be able to actually negotiate a peace treaty with the High Wing remnants. So, yeah, character writing. It was a tonal shift with Orisa, yeah. But we know what happened to him, and all of that character sort of... It's still there, but it's buried under a bunch of guilt and grief and treachery and anger. I wonder if we can ever reach out to him on it. Probably not in the state that he's in now. We'd have to figure out a way to finagle our way into his mind, like Volfred does with me all the time. Huh. Well, I mean, there's a chance that he'll come around. I just don't know if it'll happen if we only meet him on the battlefield. So... I feel like now he'd mostly want his freedom to just destroy the Commonwealth, similar to why Orisa wanted her freedom, which is not... I mean, we want to destroy the government the way that it is now in the Commonwealth, but we don't want to do it on bloody terms, which is why Orisa shouldn't go free, and why I don't know if Oralek should go free. So... We do have a ways to go yet, Volfred, but that way is speeding to its conclusion. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Alright, just double checking my stuff here real quick just to make sure. Got everything for everybody. Alright, I've got everything for everybody. Let's go. Oh yeah, the slug market. Let's see if there's any Stardust available. They are acting real weird, Ron. It's not good. Excuse me. Well, I mean, you're probably right. We can't really buy Stardust from anybody else, so... Ooh, that's interesting looking. Fortified Sun Serum. So now there are certain times where Ron will have fortified versions of the regular serums. And what it does is it's basically like a stat boost, permanent stat boost, as it says there. It permanently grants +1 hope. I don't like this one very much because hope, again, is kind of a dump stat. But if he gets a fortified Moon Serum or fortified Star Serum, you know I'm eating that shit up. So, that Scoop of Stardust will get us +4 for the Thorn Knot. So we'll see what we can do with that. Have Lou's bow. And, oh yeah, I gotta put the Moon Crest off with Volfred before I start the next rite, so let's do that now. Why don't we? Let's see, so take this, put it here. Actually, I don't even need the Moon Crest anymore now that I think about it, because I'm not going to use it ever again thanks to the Scribe Trials being over, so I might sell it, all things considered. This will get us to 15 for this, which raises it to 23%. So it's probably a 30% total. In terms of how large the maximum range is for the aura when it's cast. So, and again, I really want to kind of see if this stacks with Last Laugh, so we're going to try. Have you ever had more than 6 members of your triumvirate at any time? I think in the first cycle you had 7, because you had Hedwyn, Jodario, Ruki, Tizo, Jay, Tizo, Sir Gilman, and Pamitha. Yeah, so you had 7 in the first cycle, but if you free somebody, you always had 6 after that. And soon enough, we'll only have 5, because we're going to try to liberate somebody else in a minute, so... How's this do for Triestas, anyway? Gets it to +4. I'm going to have Pamitha in the next rite, so let's give it to Triestas, why don't we? There we go. Again, we should get enough Stardust to cap the both of them by the end of the game, because we only need 3 and 9, so we only need 12 now, and I don't think that's unfeasible. So, sell the Moon Crest, don't need it anymore. There you go. Not that it's going to get us a whole lot, but, you know. And we also have Haub's Wing available and waiting in the wings for other things if we need to buy them, like more Stardust, so... I'm sure it was, Falcon Ron, thank you. Hyper-compressed crack in that Stardust, it sure is. It's really good stuff. It's why it's one of the only things that I bother looking for, to be honest with you. Okay, let's commence the next rite. The dissidents are here. I've never faced them in a liberation rite in all of my playthroughs, so I don't actually know what they do in this one. I mean, I imagine it's some variation of what they did when we first met them, but still. Yeah, well, I'll do the best I can for them, and Volfred's probably going to be one of them, so... Yeah, well, I'm sure they're all in a stir themselves because of that. Not your agents, but the, you know, Brighton and the rest of his folks. Well, to be fair, if victory eludes us here, it's not like Ruki's mother owes Barker a debt anymore. We already settled that, so that at least should be nice. That being said, I'm not going to afford him the chance to leave, but, you know, it's there. Dullness the Locket is the new Titan Star for this area. This one, it's not too bad, actually. It causes your adversaries to have passive lifesteal, which you probably want to turn off if you're facing Manly, since his whole thing is lifesteal, but it gives you that for 3% more enlightenment. And I think if I keep this on and I keep the last one, which I think is here, on, I think that'll give me plus 35% total enlightenment with Shax and Eastlock on. I said it again. I shouldn't have said it, but there it is. So we'll try this with Dullness the Locket. I don't know if it's going to work too well because they're pretty fucking fast, but yeah, it should be okay. What's life without a little challenge, am I right? So here we go. Liberation Rite number 4. We're speeding towards the end now. It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do a lot of this stuff more back-to-back now. Because the game kind of picks up from the 5th stream on.
Even as the stars themselves
abandon you, Brighton, don't forget that.
Good upon these final opportunities.
For they will be your last.
This glorious age-old tradition coming to an end upon your watch.
Yeah, I'm not proud of it.
The dissidents, your
even though it's not really my doing.
Throw away this chance. Choose now who may go free, should they unfortunately fail.
I will. Alright, Barker, what do you got for me? Because I know you're the anointed one. Ain't nobody else in your triumvirate that has a presence like you. Well, you're here because of us, because we kind of destroyed all of the people that were above you. So, I'm sure it was a real pisser. You're gonna say stuff like that? Oh, whoops. Wah wah. Oh boy. So it's kind of funny that Barker made it here, because out of all of the people that are down here, he's probably the least likely to want to be free. Now, does that mean he's going to pull his punches here? Hell no, but yeah, he's fine down here. He's enjoying himself, although with the rites ending, he's going to have to find a new hobby, but, you know. I'm going to put up a good fight here, Barker, and as a matter of fact, this is kind of, in a way, a little poetic, considering who I'm going to put up for Liberation. He's got the Scribe Rock again because of his gigantic aura. Between Volfred and his sapling, though, I don't think he can go past it, so thanks for the compliment, Tariq. Don't think I glossed over that.
Whom do you intend to liberate?
As for who we're going to bring to bear against Barker, well, again, it's kind of poetic, because I was planning on liberating him anyway, so here we go.
Rookie.
Sorry to make you do this, Rookie, but, you know, you and Barker had a bit of a rivalry, so let's bury the hatchet immediately for the rest of the day now, shall we? Alright, who's going to go with him? So Pamitha's definitely going, and Volfred should probably go too. I can't really use him defensively, though, because of the fact that Rookie's out front, so mostly it's going to be like a Rookie grabs the orb, gives it to somebody else, and then they go. So probably it's going to be Pamitha that goes with them, but I'll try to use Volfred defensively if I can, as much as possible, considering what's going to happen. About the aftermath of the Titan Stars eclipsing the Scribe Stars, yeah, that's going to be a hell of a thing, I'll tell you what. We'll see what happens, but... And actually, Ruki's mercantile expertise will help if he gets up there, because it'll make it easier for the Resistance to get goods that they otherwise would have a hard time getting to. So, all right, Pamitha, let's see you fly over these curves. I guess he's not going to be keeping your helmet, is he? Oh, well.
Very well.
All right, here goes something. Ruki, go get that orb and give it to somebody else. There we go. Good, that's exactly what I wanted. Now we run as best as we can. Yeah, jump at this. 27 damage with Triestas, so very good, very good. I honestly find this one kind of jarring, this version of Never to Return, because of the metal in the background. I don't know. We got this, Ruki. We've done this twice before. What's another one, even with the Liberation Rite happening? I mean, I'm going to try my best to make sure that he gets out anyway, so he can't just take your spot. I would need him on my team anyway, so... Go get a Ruki. There you go. Do I want him to dive? I mean, I could, but... Well, Pamitha's right here, so I don't know if I want him to dive. Oh god, explosive temper! Run! Run! We didn't need to run, I just didn't want him to jump into me and drop the ball, that's all, so... Alright, we'll give Volfred the ball, we'll let him do this, and then we'll do this. Why can't I get the ball? Oh, there you go. Wait for it. Whoa. And then fly. Fly for your life. I'm gonna abuse Pamitha for all she's worth, trust me. So. What's gone funny with that orb? Let's see what the trick is to this one. Possessed of the same chaotic power as your adversaries. I've never seen this before, so I don't know what it's gonna do. Maybe it'll move? Well, it didn't move there, so... yeah, Ruki, why don't you grab it? We'll give it to Pamitha, we'll get her behind. Ooh, okay. He's coming for me! I'm going up here instead! Move, Volfred, move! Alright, fly for your life. Use that extra glory boost, Pamitha. Use it! Alright, anyway, let's go grab this. I kind of want Ruki to get the final throw if I can. I don't think he can quite get it, though, from here. I think he'd get it down to 2, but, no, we'll run for it. No, I dropped it. Never mind. I won't run for it. I'll go grab it if I can, but I can't, so. Alright, defense mode. I set Volfred in defense mode. Oh, nice. I have explosive temper, too. Not going to be rid of me that easily, Barker. Oh my god, I actually jumped over that, but I couldn't press the sprint button fast enough. That's unfortunate. Sure, I'll take it. Why not? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, he's gonna catch me! Damn it. Almost, Ruki, almost. I like this section, though, where they're kind of like just harmonizing. That's kind of nice. Okay, don't run into him. Never mind. I was gonna say don't run into him because it's not gonna work out for us, but... Alright, go, Ruki, go. Okay. Grab that. Luminous Idol. Jump! Damn it, I dropped it again. Okay, run away then. Or don't. Explosive temper. It's going to be really difficult to score without Pamitha in this case, because all the curs are the same exact thing as Ruki. But I'll see what I can do. Okay. Bye. Okay, sure. Oh, he doused with a throw. Well, you're going to regret that, because I'm about to give it back to Pamitha, so... Yeah. Alright, stay behind cover while they're distracted, and now go. And don't get stuck. Okay, I dropped it. That's fine. Run before they get you. Ball, are you going to come down? Oh, that's probably the chaotic energy that they were talking about, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. Goodbye, Barker. Never to Return is an awesome track. That's why you asked that question. Noxalis. Good job, everybody. Yeah, fair enough. So... But yeah, it is. It's a really good track, no matter what the instrumentation. I just find that one to be a little dissonant, that's all. How poetic this Liberation Rite was. Because now the hatchet is firmly buried in the ground between these two.
shall be free.
I'm happy with Rookie's performance across the whole game, though, because I got to see some scenes out of him that I normally don't get because I normally don't keep him here this long. He's normally the second one to go for me, so...
all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
GG, Barker. You just couldn't stop the flight. Now imagine what she would have done if I had had the +4 quickness on her. It's alright, Barker. You guys did well for yourselves getting here. That probably took it all out of you, but it's fine. Worked out for your good friend Rookie now, didn't it? What do you mean, what now? You jump in there and you go back up and you go see yo mama. That's the idea. Getting a little emotional on me here, Rookie. Do you need a head pat? Is that considered like an insult to occur if I ask him if he needs a head pat? Or would he enjoy that? I'm gonna miss you, Rookie. I'm gonna miss you no matter what, so... Listen, Sir Gilman's gonna catch you one of these days. Might be one day soon, all things considered. We don't have that many people left to liberate, so... As for you, well, I hope you don't forget us for too long, because if you do, your mom's gonna set you straight and she's gonna send you directly to Volfred's agents. So don't drink too much, or you might get a bucket of water thrown at you in the morning. Well, if we make it up there, Rookie, I'm sure we will stop by for a pint or two. Well, I'm sure you're not used to swimming, then. Bye, Rookie! Rookie Greentail has earned back his freedom. He's set to return to the Commonwealth and leave the downside forever. May the good boy return in glory.
Godspeed, Rookie Green.
And hopefully not break his back on the way up. Holy shit, that was some moonsault.
Are watching from afar. By their grace, may the cycle of the rites keep turning for as long as possible.
For once, I'm in agreement with you, because it means we'll get out of here faster. And have a higher likelihood of actually, making a difference up there. Aha! We got Volfred to rank 4 before he's conducted 4 rites. Incredible. I don't think I've ever gotten him to rank 4 in the first year, to be honest, or the first cycle that he's with you, so... I'm glad, Volfred, and it nourishes the spirit enough to give you a very solid ability out of this. Either Unstable Sapling or Numbing Gust are both good. I'm going to try Unstable Sapling. Numbing Gust is good, but I've never gotten to use Unstable Sapling, so I think I'm going to try this instead. And then we'll get the Capstone skill later, so... But yeah, we're still working our way up. Let's see what we can do with everybody else.
Turning of the stars. Farewell.
Goodbye, Brighton. Have fun, managing your existence now that you know that we're after you. We're taking your throne and we're throwing it in the garbage. See, like, he feels like he has all the power because he's the voice man, but we have all the power. Don't let him get to you. Okay, well, that was easy. And Rookie got out of here, which is good. Nice work, everybody. I mean, I have a vague notion, because you said, frankly, just even without the arithmetic, there were less rights left than those people that we had here. It's only a matter of estimation to say that there's only 3 liberation rights left after this. So, I hope so. How's the plan with Rookie up there? Oh, look, he even contributed a decent chunk, considering he's contributed 7%, so that's not bad. 70% is good. Again, the percentage actually doesn't matter. As long as you liberate 6 exiles, you get the best, the most peaceful ending, but... It's nice seeing the number go up, I guess. Big number go up. This good. Caveman brain. I guess nobody else is in good spirits like I am here. Excuse me. Alright, it's time for me to make my stand. None of y'all have listened to me and been in good spirits despite of this, and now I'm going to make you be in good spirits. Everybody listen to me. What are we going to do? The same thing we've been doing. I'm glad Bertrude is the one that's giving me the words here. Searching to find the right... Okay, so this speech here, actually you can change by interacting with the words. And I kind of like this because it lets you say what you feel at the moment. So you can interact with this and let them know what you really feel about all this. So let's see if we can do that. We have stood together time after time. throughout this quest, and we are poised to seize a glorious opportunity. Let's see here. This one kind of... it's okay. It is clear now that not all of us are going to return, and this probably has weighed heavily on everyone. Let's leave that there. Yeah, we'll say that. So it's clear now that not... I'm going to actually start speaking the speech now. So it's clear now that not all of us are going to return, and surely this has weighed heavily on all of us. It's true, something far more vital is at stake. The conclusion of the rites is a sign that the world... Actually, this one's pretty good, honestly. A sign that the world is changing. So, yeah, I think I like that. What's the other one for this? That one's pretty good, too. That one's kind of more angry. Oh, and it changes the other words, too. Interesting. This sounds kind of crusade-y, so I don't know if I like that there, so... Okay, so I don't know if I like the word, but I don't like the remainder of it, so... Alright, so we'll use this one. So, something far more vital is at stake to us here. The imminent conclusion of the rites is a sign. It's a sign that the world is changing, ideally for the better. Let's see what we got here. I like that. I like that quite a bit, actually. Both of these lines are really good in this case, but you all stand poised to ensure that the world that you leave behind for your loved ones and for each other is a world worthy of homecoming or worth living in. Now, worth living in sounds too good to leave behind there. It's a world worth living in. Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. If you can believe any of what we've done here so far, then trust what your heart is telling you. Trust that you may yet prevail together, as we always have. And as for the last thing here, let's stand together now and always. Mere distance cannot separate our spirits. The stars have not vanished, they've joined us. Harmony envisioned by the 8 scribes. People of the Commonwealth need us. I think this is a good note to end on. Mere distance cannot separate our spirits. We will be with each other forever, right here, where it counts. Let's see if it worked. That's the plan anyway, Bertrude. Good, glad to hear it, Tizo. Thanks, Tariq. We'll do the best we can with the time they give us, so... How'd I do, Volfred? My first big speech. That's the idea. I will do just that. Noxalis. Good. And with our hope renewed, each of the Nightwings will gain +1 hope permanently as a result of your speech. I think you can't fuck that up even if you say all of the angrier comments. I'm pretty sure they just get +1 hope permanently no matter what you say, but mere distance cannot separate our spirits is probably the line that you should say there if you want my opinion, because I'm pretty sure it's a track on the OST. So, yeah, it was put there on purpose. So, meanwhile, the stars are fucking going crazy up there. Apparently, they're ready to go, even though we just got here. We're not going to be resting at the Moonlight Alcove anymore. There are more stars to be seen. So let's see which ones shine for us yet, shall we? Haub is shining, Gaul is shining, Jamuer is shining. Please, Glade of Lu. Triesta. You sassy bitch. Oh, Auras is shining. Oh, it is there! There it is! Lu! The Vernal Star! I will get to go back there before the end of the game. It sometimes doesn't happen, you see. I guess so. My speech must have been, pretty good. They must have heard me. He went away to look at a fast food menu. What happened? So all of my companions had their doubts after our, we liberated Ruki successfully, but everything that was happening with all the omens and the rites ending have weighed on their minds. So the game allows you, the player, to give them all a rallying speech that raises their hope by +1 permanently. And you don't go to the Moonlight Alcove after this liberation rite. From now on, the Moonlight Alcove you don't go back. You just go from rite to rite to rite, and liberation rite after liberation rite. Well, not liberation rite after liberation rite. There are still rites in between. But you don't go back to the Moonlight Alcove ever again now. It's done. We're done with that place. Because the stars are glowing already. They didn't need a period of buffering or a cooldown, so let's see who we're going to confront, shall we? Let's hope it's not the Chastity there, or the Pyre Hearts might actually get a chance. Oh, the Dissidents are over there now. Well, they're not necessarily the ones I wanted to see, but sure, why not? Fair enough. We have to fight the Withdrawn at some point here, so that way they get lowered down here. Although, is it worth it to fight the Withdrawn or the Accusers? The Accusers would be a tricky boss fight if we found them in a liberation, right? But I guess if we fight both of them, then they... then they will lower and the Pyre Hearts will be higher. And that would make for a very easy 6th liberation, right? Like, the Chastity are pretty much locked in unless we fight them now, but I don't know, we'll see. Oh, I gotta read Volford's Planner. The fact that you can route out who you want to fight is nuts. Oh my god, it's like one of my favorite parts about this game. It's great. Like, it changes everyone's playthrough after the first cycle as well, and it's really, really interesting. I find it very interesting to kind of strategize and be like, okay, who do I want to cuck here? Do I want to make it easier or harder for myself? It's a very organic way of allowing the player to control how difficult the liberation rites can be and how difficult the other rites are. And if I have anything to say about it, well, the next liberation rite will probably be difficult because it's the Chastity, but if we can... I mean, I don't think the Withdrawn should go to another liberation rite. She lost favor with the Astroborn. She doesn't like him as much as she used to, so it feels like that hope should mean something. As for the Accusers, I just like cucking Lendl over, to be honest, because he hurts my boy. The Pyre Hearts, I may not like them necessarily, but out of all of them, they might be the ones that transcend after this. We'll see. Salium, the 12th of 12th moon, 8:57 AS, so it's still December. The stars continue to vanish. There cannot be many opportunities at liberty remaining. The others grow anxious. Not all of them shall make it out of here. Then we shall keep each other company until the rest make it. So I want to go back to Lou, but I don't think we need to challenge the Dissidents now that Ruki's out of here anymore, so what else is available? I'm going to kick myself for doing this because now Lou is never going to show up again, but anyway, the Tempers are here. We could fight them because then we'd get their notes for the book. But I kind of want to fight the Withdrawn if they're available, and the Accusers. Well, the Accusers are there, so here's the Chastity, and the Fate are down here, so I guess we're going to go fight the Accusers again. Because I really want to... I just want to see the Pyre Hearts get up here. I've never seen them make it to a liberation rite, and I think it would be silly. And probably easier than most of them, so let's give it a shot, shall we? Alright, here we go again, Lendl. But yeah, I love the routing capability of this game. It's a very interesting way of handling the later cycles. And again, it makes most of the playthroughs after this unique, even between your own playthroughs, as you can see here. So, yeah, we're going to need our break here because, well, we're not going to have a whole lot of opportunities to rest in between liberation rites now, as you can see by the stars all aligning up there. Sir Gilman, what's on your mind? Contemplative and quiet because your friend that you just had a scene with is liberated? And glory to you, Sir Gilman. I'm sure he will. And that's the plan. But yeah, I feel like after you just had that emotional scene with him, now it's you got a little hole in your heart. Fair enough. See, normally when I get this line with him, he's always the one that pops up here after Ruki gets liberated, but normally when I get this line, it kind of feels a little hollow because he never interacts with Ruki throughout the game, but now that I kept Ruki for a little longer, they got a chance to actually interact with one another, which is kind of nice. He was one of the fastest among us here, so we'll have to fill in that gap a little bit. Have to give Bertrude some quickness. Awesome. That'll be very good for us, then. Alright, Sir Gilman, but make sure you get some shut-eye so that you're good to go, because tomorrow we've got another rite to get to, so... Good evening, Sir Gilman. But yeah, he doesn't get any stats out of it, unfortunately. I mean, it's okay, but, you know. All right, let's read the Book of Rites. I know we're going for a little bit of length on the stream this time, but we'll get all this out of the way before we save it, and then we'll continue next week. Dullness the Locket. Doubtless you have seen Black Basin, whose seething fissures yet spew noxious flame and vapor at the stars, in arrogance that they do. And then you have seen the remnants of the wrath of Dullness, also called the Locket, for within himself he held the fires and the rage which shaped this very land. The Ash Titan, he did threaten to devour us as we delved deeper into the reaches of the downside, till we at last outsmarted him. Quenched his flames we did, when we lured an inauspicious storm his way, probably brought it from the deathless tempest, knowing Millith. And so, whilst the Ash Titan has fled, the sopping coward, we can see his handiwork remains. The blackened crags forever shall bespeak the danger which he posed. So that lava's there to stay, but, you know, he's not there. So that's fair. Unworth. Triesta, what do you have to say on Worth? The fallen empire of Sar was ruled according to an ancient bloodline thought to be infallible. Our society shall instead be by those who earn the privilege. We, the 8, we cannot bear the burden of determining your worth. It shall be determined by your peers and by you yourself. We shall provide a framing through the rites to put you to the test against yourselves, against your kin, against your adversaries. The downside cannot let us all go free. Thus, freedom to the worthy. It's too bad that that's so easily taken advantage of, but that's because I'm cynical and living in a society that's near the end of capitalism's natural life cycle, so, you know. As the worthy, your true calling then begins as you return to a society which longs to learn the wisdom you have gained along your path. The worthy shall lead. Except they don't long for that wisdom because they don't want you to talk about it, otherwise the whole theocracy goes to pot. So, good job breaking it, Archjustices. Alright, so anyway, that will take care of the 4th liberation rite. We're walking on eggshells a little bit because most of our time has gone now. We'll use what remaining time we have to try to get as many people out of here as we can on the next episode of Pyre, the Stream Edition, which will be happening on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, I'm pretty sure at this point we should be able to finish the game on Tuesday so that I can take a nice long, probably week-long break over the Thanksgiving weekend before we move on to the final of the old stream suggestions. So, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll post up the schedule on Twitch, not Twitter, because I deactivated my Twitter account, YouTube, and Discord, shortly after I get the description done for this one. So until Monday, everybody, take care, and have a good one. I feel like there's a bit of an optical illusion going on here. It looks like the shimmer pool is still moving upward. Or maybe that's intentional because hell has weird gravity? Huh. I don't know. I don't think we ever find out either. That's a shame.